I ripped the bloody door right off the loo. Because when your day starts just like this, an open door is. When I hear Nikki says, an open door is. Don't care if you're not impressed, an open door is. Did I mention I was a house guest, an open door is. Heading out this evening to meet up with my boys. For a couple beers we'll make a little noise. Checked out the telly to find out what's the score. But the Patriots, they ain't no good no more. I threw that telly on the floor, then caught shit from the man. So I made a beeline straight for the can. Because when your evening starts like this, an open up is. When Tom Brady leaves the Patriots, an open up is. Hey, I almost never miss, an open up is. Everybody take a look at this, an open up is. Don't care about your rules, don't live my life to please you fools. If you don't like it, turn the other way. That's what I say. Like there's no child writing songs with kiss, and open door is. Like 90s ballads from Aerosmith, and open door is. When the Jays can't get no hits, and open door is. When your socks they smell like this, and open door is. When you just don't give a shit, and open door is. I think you get the gist, and open door is.
Hello, good evening, all aboard. And yes, Kevin, opening with ODP. That's correct. I'm glad you pointed that out. I thought it was a bold move myself, but it was a necessary move, I think, given that tonight's show is a theme brought up by Uncle Meat himself, the master of the ODP. And also, for another reason, which is I put together a brand new, well, not brand new, it's recycled footage, but I put together a new video for Max the Axe, Gods on the Radio, that I'm going to play at some point tonight. I know we will definitely need a break at some point because we have six lists. Here's mine. The best cover tunes. Nigel Tufnel top 10 best cover tunes. So it's a wide open field. I am hoping that we will have a very little overlap. Now, fortunately, one of the gentlemen joining us tonight is going to be Aaron, and he is really our... Everybody has their role, you know? Everybody has their role. Aaron is our scorekeeper, among other things. I mean, he's obviously a great storyteller as well and has an incredible collection of music. But he's also our scorekeeper. So he will be keeping track of any overlap, stuff like that. I'm really looking forward to tonight's show. And he can contribute. There will be no overlap with him. Well, that wouldn't surprise me. That would not surprise me. I'd like to bring on my very first guest tonight, the very first one who has answered the call of his rock and roll duty. It's Mr. Rob Daniels. Oh, Phil, that.
Can you feel it coming in the air tonight?
I can. How are you tonight, Rob?
I'm doing great. How you doing?
I'm doing great too. It's too bad it would set off copyright strikes, but I would love to be able to play your student video, the Don't Drink and Drive video. We've had requests for it. Chris Sarr has requested it.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I've talked about it in the past. And,
Okay.
But it's got one Phil Collins tune at least, and one Bon Jovi.
Yep.
But for your purposes back then, that didn't matter.
No. Well, see, the thing was back then, it was a simple copyright. It was almost a Wild West of copyright, where you couldn't. Where it's then about 1990, 2000, actually closer to 2000, 2002, 2003, they started to go through all our videos at Rogers and go, this has copyrighted music on it. This has copyrighted music on it. We have to now. I think Rogers got called on the carpet and was probably tasked by the CRTC to pay a fee, or something like that. Whether it was SOCAN or one of the other governing bodies, I think that's probably what happened. I didn't know for sure, but hey.
You want to know something really funny? You know how we have the Sausage Fest every summer, or had. I can't go this year, unfortunately, but I recorded some live streams at the last one, and we're all sitting around the fire, and you can definitely hear music, right?
Right.
Well, just last week, I got flagged for a video I streamed in summer 2019.
Wow. I still get every once in a while, Facebook has flagged your video for copyright, and I'm like, but that was 2 years ago.
Yeah. Funny enough, the next guy I'm going to bring on knows all about copyright strikes, because my show last week received a copyright strike when I played, or the last week or the week before, whenever I last played the song "Rockin' in a Rubber" by Current River. And here to tell you about it, it's T-Bone.
T-Bone.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Hey, not doing too bad. How you doing?
Just a second. I see it's actually Phil Daniels. Ooh, I think Phil Daniels was the one I didn't like as much.
Oh.
Rob Collins is a great guy. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Rob Collins.
Okay, I caught you leading me in with a story, the copyright story.
Yeah, so we got dinged for like 5 seconds of footage in the Rockin' in a Rubber video, I guess.
Well,
but we thought it was the LeBrain train. We thought it was the train that was setting it off.
So Mike sends me a message and says, I might have to get you to make me a new LeBrain train video. And I'm like, what? And then he sends me the little clip of whoever's complaining. This group of guys called the Slow-Mo Guys claimed that we had like 10 seconds of their footage or something. And I'm thinking, damn. And I Googled them, and they're from the UK. And I swore the train footage I grabbed was from Canada. So I'm like, why did guys in the UK, why would they have bought like 10 seconds of this Canadian train footage and then copyrighted it? It wasn't theirs originally. I knew that because I went back, I think some Mike Armstrong or somebody's name, when I went back to look at the train footage. So this was when Mike did his kind of impromptu Saturday stream there. Was it last Saturday or the Saturday before now? I can't remember.
I think it was the Saturday before.
Yeah. And I jumped in a little later. I didn't realize he had played Rockin' in a Rubber. And I was right after we had done the Van Halen show. So I very arrogantly said, "Oh, you didn't get enough last night, Mike?" Because we had hammered on him for 3 hours because he was the only one that didn't like that album. But anyway.
That sounds about right. That's the setting, yes. And according to I'm just looking at my file right now, the new LeBrain Train intro that will be running in a couple of minutes was May 1st. So that gives you that's when it was, May 1st.
So that night, without thinking about it, I'm like, I felt bad because I'm thinking I got Mike in trouble. I'm thinking, why didn't they come after me? It's my YouTube page. He's just linking to it. I'm the one that did wrong. So I made him a new video, which hopefully I've done enough stuff to it that if there is anything that can be copyrighted in there, they can't really tell. A bot wouldn't be able to tell, maybe a human. But anyway, So then I'm like, it's bothering me. So the Sunday I got Google, who are the slow-mo guys? And I find them, and they're in the UK. And I start looking through images of them. And I find an image. I don't know if you've seen the Rockin' in the Rubber video. There's an image of a guy standing in a wind tunnel with a condom, and it blows up super huge. Those are the slow-mo guys. They're right in my video. I don't do anything to the shot. The shot is exactly out of the. I just found it online and was like, "This is perfect for Rockin' and Rubber." Guy's got a huge condom. Like, what the hell? I gotta use this. So anyway, I sent it to Mike, and then we started putting our heads together. We go, wait a second, it wasn't the theme song. But then Mike's like, "But I really like the new theme."
I do.
So now I have two.
Which that's a perfect segue. We're going to run it, and then we're going to bring on the rest of the guys. So here for your enjoyment. It's the new, or the current anyway, LeBrain Train intro.
Ticket to anywhere and a glazed donut to go. All aboard.
Well done.
Hello,
Welcome,
Harrison.
Hello, everybody.
So Harrison's name is Weird Harrison Yankovic, which is a reference to, of course, one of the greatest cover artists of all time, if you can call him that, Weird Al Yankovic. And we have Mr. Books with us as well. How are you guys tonight?
Great. Ready to go. I had to remind
How about you?
myself which one we're doing tonight.
Yeah, it is a fun. And I'd like to point something out that we're still waiting for one more guy. And it's the guy whose idea this theme was tonight, so we can't start without him. And it's the guy that about, 45 minutes ago phoned me up because he had to do a test on his laptop, interrupting my Bad Batch episode.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, okay, so we got the test. It works great. Can I please finish the Bad Batch? And now, of course, he's late. I'd like to point that out. So any guilt that I felt at the beginning for playing Open Door Piss as the opening track, I do not feel guilty at all anymore.
If I can add to the guilt, we're also missing the last regular season game of the Leafs tonight.
Oh, appreciate it, buddy. Appreciate you doing this. Jen is keeping score in the other room.
Well,
hey, Jade, how you doing?
Cool.
Jade
Have
Squire.
her keep us posted.
Sorry, what's that?
Have her keep us posted.
Yes, I'll be able to tell what's going on by the cheering. So we have Jade from BGO History in the house, and we have Mr. Tyler G from Sausage Fest fame in the house. And finally, we have the Meat Man on a laptop. for a change.
Hey,
Street me.
Yeah, it's different.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Jen, we've been requested that you help us keep score, okay?
You can hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, you sound good, man.
You're good.
since
Okay.
since Harrison's here, I think this is appropriate for me to mention that I'm probably the hockey contrarian amongst this panel, as I will be cheering for the other team in the first round of the playoffs. The one
The
that
other
will
team.
probably the one that will probably lose that series. But anyway, I'm a Habs fan from way back.
Okay.
So
Oh no.
Sure.
see, I'm so I
don't know if you
I grew up in
realize-
the 70s. I
You
know.
do not
You and I
realize
have
what
talked
you've
about
just
this.
done.
No,
This
well,
is
sorry.
bad.
Okay,
Hey,
do I
I
sign-
lived in
Do I
Montreal
sign
for
out?
2
Do
years.
I sign out? Do I sign out now?
No.
You just got to pray
Nice-
that she
it was
never
nice
finds
knowing you
out.
guys. Oh.
If she finds out,
I'll just
we're
keep-
probably
I'll
cut
just say-
off.
If I keep sending cute pictures of you in your underwear on Yonge Street, I think she'll be just fine.
Well, boys,
People
wanna
don't know about that.
let's
I-
not go there. In
Let's
fact,
keep
let's
it that way.
Sorry,
I
just want to. Can I just interrupt for one more second? I'm a terrible interrupter, but Harrison, I haven't officially met you before, and it's a pleasure to be on the show with you.
Yep, me too.
And Rob, I've already said hi to these other three guys I know, so take over again. Sorry, Mike.
no problem. So we just got some comments here. We'll put them up on screen. No Leafs game. Hi, Harrison. I don't believe we've met. Mr. Tyler G is saying hello to the meat man, and he's also saying go
Tyler.
Habs go. We've lost the coach. He's taken off because it's Montreal and Leafs fans. Yes, songs from compilations absolutely do count. Song from anywhere, doesn't matter where it's from. You're going to find out tonight. Go Habs, go again, and I always liked Jade. She was always awesome. And Cop's got his list. Okay, shall we begin? Jameet, do you want to quickly just introduce the theme and we'll jump into it?
Okay. The theme was just top 10 cover songs. That was the theme. I personally have swayed a little bit, but we don't need to get into that yet. I'm not going to be first. It doesn't look like from the order. So, but it's
That's what
top
happens
11.
when you're last. That's what happens when you're last to arrive. Rob got
Fair.
the sweet spot.
Yes, sir.
All right, so
Totally
it's
fair.
top cover tunes. Let's do it.
Nigel, Tufnel. The top 10. Nigel, Tufnel. The top 10. Nigel, Tufnel. Oh, these ones go up to 11. Nigel, Tufnel. The top 10. Nigel, Tufnel. Nigel, Tufnel.
Thanks, T-Bone, for that theme song. For all the theme songs. I don't know what's. He's.
Oh, I'm
Okay.
making
What?
I'm making
No,
the
I'm good.
sheet.
Oh, thank you, Aaron, our official scorekeeper.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to start. Rob asked, the songs from compilations count? Yes, songs from anything counts, and my first song is actually a song from nothing. It's July Talk. It's their cover of Laid by James. And
Nice.
I'm glad Jade is watching tonight because I believe I just got her to watch this video on Facebook a couple of months ago. And she said how much she liked July Talk. It's a live in the studio kind of video. And I've been really liking July Talk lately, and I like them better than James. And I really like their version. I like bands with two lead singers, and they've got two contrasting lead singers, and I really, really like that. So, yeah, that's my number 11 is From Nothing, just YouTube, Laid by July Talk.
Hi, James.
And
Cool.
that would make the
Cool.
next turn Mr. Rob.
Thank you very much. Well, my number 11 was originally written by Prince. And from the album The Lead and How to Swing It, I'm featuring Kiss by Tom Jones and the Art of Noise. Think about a dance now.
Oh, yes. Yes. Now that has to go in another video.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool, man. That comes in a left field.
Yes. That's a good cover.
Hi to 80s metal man there, eh? Yeah, that's a great pick, Rob. Congratulations. T-Bone, how are you going to follow that one?
I'm not. Well, I will, but I'm not. I'm not going to. I'm going to just start by. I'm going to follow it by showing off the beer I'm having tonight.
Oh yeah. So this is special.
This
I'm going
is,
to put this on close up.
Sleeping Giant makes a beer called Goes to 11. It's got like amplifiers and everything all over it.
Nice.
So it's perfect for this. And I'm going to be featuring it in my new Coney Hatch beer koozie that came with my live album. So there,
Nice.
just friends of the show there. So let's just get that out of the way. And yeah, so I'm stealing a page out of Aaron's book because I've seen how this is done before. It's my first time on here, but I could not, for the life of me, put these in an order. So I just going to kind of read them in the order they're in. I may swap that around depending on how the conversation's going, if something seems fitting, but these are not in any particular order. So I'm going to get one out of the way first. That's probably, really, I'll also say I'm a sucker for a hit. So some of these might seem very mainstream and whatever. The first one for sure is Hard to Handle by the Black Crowes. I love that song. I love their version. And, I didn't even know it was a cover at first because I had never heard the Otis Redding version prior to that, but that's I'll call it my number 11, but like I said, these aren't in any order.
It is. And it's got to be the version with the horns.
Yes.
I was just going to mention that, Aaron. And that is now available on this, 30th anniversary edition.
Oh, that's been available since forever if you had the singles.
Yeah, but dude, I've been looking for that one.
Cool.
Rick appreciates this. I thought that Rick was going to be a really harsh critic tonight. We might be getting off easy. Yes, Rob, can we do a close-up on the cat, please?
Oh,
hey, kitty. Looks like Carl. Looks like Carl.
Gimli.
I just noticed that Phil Daniels changed his name to Rob Collins. Oh, that is too awesome.
We're going to be having a hard time keeping up with everybody tonight. Holy crap. Okay, Harrison, let's keep it rolling. What are you opening with?
My list is a bit more obscure because, you could very easily rattle off 11, really well-known covers. But I've decided to go for some far more obscure ones. And,
that's a shock. I'm so shocked.
Shocker, yeah. I'm starting with one from Rob Daniels' neck of the woods. Because in 1990, a composer composed the soundtrack for a NES game. A very hard NES game. I know that doesn't help you identify it, but it was a hard one. It was Solstice by Tim Follin was the composer. And then it's a great title theme. And then later on, in the advent of YouTube, this fella by the name of Tony Dickinson takes an electric guitar and keyboards to it and just turns it from an already great track into an absolutely smashing tune.
Nice.
So Tony Dickinson?
Yeah, no relation to Bruce. Yeah.
And the track is called what?
Just say it's a Solstice title theme.
Solstice theme. Title theme from NES video game, apparently.
Hey, Aaron.
You don't have to write all of that down, Aaron.
Aaron, you might want to make sure you get the whole thing because just to make sure, like when it matches with the next guy.
Just to
foreshadowing.
I think he's okay here.
Just to quickly anecdote there to tie into T-Bone's excellent T-shirts that he's wearing. I remember seeing Spinal Tap on Much Music, and they were talking about Yngwie J. Malmsteen. And David St. Hubbins goes, and I like the way he puts Yngwie J. Malmsteen in all of his albums, so you don't mix him up with all the other Yngwie Malmsteens in the business. like that's just brilliant. That's just brilliant shit. So yeah, what Meat said. But go ahead, Meat. You're the founder of the list and the theme writer this week. What are you opening with?
Isn't it Aaron?
Shit, Aaron? Sorry.
I can go whenever. I'm good.
No, you know what? I wanted to. I fucked that up. I felt a segue. I felt a segue coming on because Meat loves Spinal Tap, and I quickly omitted Aaron. So now that's just a fucked up segue. Let's just put the car in reverse real quick. And hey, Aaron, how you doing?
No, I'm fine. Just wanted to put out there that I could have made 9 lists. I thought about themes, like what if I did all punk songs or metal songs? I thought about what if I just did all the, so I have 11. And when I watch this tomorrow, I'm going to, or if I think about it tomorrow, I'm going to say it should have been 11 different songs. I came up with so many. But my first one,
I believe you told me 30 was your starting number.
Well, I pared it down to 30. And then I picked the 11 from that.
Wow.
So,
wow.
Yeah. I had to get ruthless there. So my first one, I'm taking way back. Elvis Presley's cover of Carl Perkins's Blue Suede Shoes.
Oh, nice.
Which is a childhood memory for me, and just a great version. So
really nice.
Very cool.
Let's just pretend I just did that Spinal Tap segue, and let's go to me who loves Spinal Tap and the founder of the founder of the list and the theme writer of this week's show.
Now, yes, I'm the theme writer of this, but I've changed it for me a little drastically, and it started off for me very much like Aaron. I had like 25 songs down. I'm like, I can't really do this. Hey, kitty. So what I ended up doing is I'm not ranking them for the first time. I'm not. There is no ranking, and 9 of my 11 are live covers because I wanted to do all live, but I could really only think of 9 that really meant something to me. So the first 2 are just 2 covers that I decided to add. Number 11 is there's been a lot of talk on the channel about Judas Priest lately, and a very good cover for me, and a song I love on an album I love from 1988, Slayer, South of Heaven. It is the cover of Dissident Aggressor.
Yes,
of Judas Priest, and I love the version. It grooves. It's not like crazy Slayer heavy. It's just a little more heavy. It's good. That's my number 11.
Excellent. And specifically the live.
How heavy must Slayer be that Dissident Aggressor is not heavy Slayer?
Well, in comparison to what Slayer's batch of heavy, it's something like that.
Good enough for me.
There you go.
I just wanted to say real quick, Aaron mentioned that he could come back tomorrow and make an entire new list. And I get that. And as an announcement I'd like to make right now, I have officially decided that we are going to start redoing some of the lists from last year's shows that I was not happy with, like the quality of the stream. And also that was in the Facebook Live days where everything was like this and there were only 2 people. And the first one I'd like to do, throwing it out there right now, it was a great list show, but the show sucked in quality, was best ballads of all time. So we're throwing that one out there. That's going to be redone at some point this summer.
I've got some new ones for that.
There you go. And
The
next time
LeBrain
it'll be on
remastered.
StreamYard, and it'll be more people instead of just 2, and it won't be broadcast on my freaking it was on my cell phone, and it wasn't connected to the Wi-Fi, so it was on my data. Yeah. So we're going to redo that one. Anyway, my number 10, I'm throwing this one out there as one of my very few mainstream covers. And this one is one that I fell in love with a second time thanks to a little show called Battlestar Galactica. So Rob automatically knows what song I've picked, and it is the song that wove its way through that entire last season and a half, all along the watchtower.
Ship.
all along the Watchtower Tower by Jimi Hendrix. It's magical. I've loved it since day one, which I heard it actually rather late, probably Forrest Gump or something like that. But regardless, I fell in love with it that second time with BSG, and Rob knows exactly what I am talking about. So that's my number 10.
Cool.
And that brings us to Rob.
All right. My number 10. Originally written by Leonard Cohen. What could it be? Well, I think it's a requirement that all Canadians at one point should cover this song. However, I chose Gord Downey's version of Hallelujah from the St. Ralph soundtrack.
I don't have that.
Me neither.
Wow.
That's cool.
And yeah, when he hits and it all went wrong, I stand before the Lord of Song. Yeah, when I hear that, it always gives me goosebumps.
That's a wicked pick.
Yeah.
I think Aaron just ordered that on. I think it took him like 8 seconds.
I have to say, and if anybody picks that song in another cover version, all power to them. I am of a firm belief that there's only one person that could sing that song properly. But this is Gord Downey we're talking about here. So yeah, see, there's James, right? So yeah, so St. Ralph. Okay, I'll look into that.
Okay. I'll show you again.
Yeah, I have a rant about Hallelujah. Fat Buddha, Katie Lang, and I just don't even. Yeah, sorry, that's my own thing. And power to anybody who picked Jeff Buckley, for example, or something like that. There you go.
I'm surprised that Maxi Axe has to ask me if I own a copy of Kiss My Hand. That's a good pick right there. But T-Bone, you were up next.
Hallelujah was a song that kicked around for a while, but I think I'm of the similar mindset as Aaron. If I was going to listen to it, I'd listen to the original. But don't get me wrong. But I actually really like a lot of the covers. But I mean, I still think that one that's like a Canadian treasure. Anyway, Canadian band here, but nowhere near the treasure level of Hallelujah. 1984 band called Santers. On their Guitar Alley album covered Freeze 1970 All Right Now, and I really like that version, and they don't do anything super different with it. It's just really well done. Might have actually been the first version of that song I heard because of when I grew up versus when Free was around. So that's my next pick. All Right Now by Santers. That's 1984's cool. Guitar Alley.
Wicked pick. I have that on Masters of Metal Volume 2, which is just anybody who's read Record Store Tales knows that's chapter 1 of Record Store Tales right there. So nice one, T-Bone. Weird Harrison Yakopovic.
All right. I've just noticed that T-Bone appears to be a fellow cartography enthusiast.
A
fellow what?
Cartography.
Map making, or just maps.
You both have maps behind your heads.
Yeah, that is a map of places my wife and I have been, and it also has little pins of where we'd like to go, and it's kind of keeping tabs on that kind of stuff. So it's like a cork behind the map, and we haven't put a lot of pins in it in the last 14 months. I'll tell you that.
So I need you to put a pin in there, and I need you to label that pin 2023.
Sausage.
But you got to. Yeah, you got to put Kimberley, Ontario in that pin.
Okay. All right. Is it all the way to? It's all the way to 2023 now.
I believe that's when Deke's.
Oh, Deke has already planned this out. Okay.
Yes, it's pre-planned. This you don't have a choice. Actually, it's already done. Okay,
that's all good.
And Harrison, you're welcome to come too, but it's a bit of a longer flight from Australia, where it is already Saturday.
Yeah.
But okay, sorry. What's your number 10, buddy?
All right, anyway, the list entry, yeah. Right, so there's this singer by the name of Shirley Manson. Yeah, you might know her as the lead singer of Garbage.
Yeah.
But she's also done a bit of acting, most notably in a little TV show called The Sarah Connor Chronicles. And she also, in that show, takes the time to sing a little song. And it's a slowed down, much heavier groove version of Samson and Delilah, and it just kicks a ton of butt. It's got a lot of power. Definitely my favorite. Well, I'm not going to say my favorite version of the song because it's the only version of the song I listen to, but
Who does the
it's a
original?
damn good version.
Who does the original?
The Grateful Dead.
Okay,
And it's got a far more barnyard sort of feel on that version.
cool. That's new to me. Rob, did you know that one?
Maybe.
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 Like, have you seen all the episodes? So you've
I
definitely
have.
heard it?
I actually
Okay.
have it on. I have it on DVD. So yeah.
As do I.
Everything. So yeah.
Nice.
Second season opener. Amazing song.
Nice one, Rob. And Harrison. And, well, Harrison and Rob. But Aaron's up next with his number 10.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Okay, so this one just makes me laugh every time. I love this version. It is Cake and their cover of Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive.
That's
which
a nice one.
just pleases me to no end every time I hear it. So it had to be on.
Nice.
Cake does good covers. True.
Yes.
I
They
like
have
their
a few-
originals, too. I've got a couple
horn.
of their albums.
You know, all the horn section in there and everything. I always cheer for the horns. So.
Mhm.
Oh, Chris Thuss with a killer cover there. I didn't put this one on my list, but you know what? I almost should have. That Trailer Park Boys version of Closer to the Heart is great.
That made me remember Bruce Dickinson singing Delilah in a leopard print suit. There's a video of that.
I seem
on
to
on
remember
YouTube.
that. I think that rings a bell. That's not on my list, I'll tell you that.
It's not on mine either.
Mr. Meatman, what is your number 10?
Number 10. All right. My number 10, the cover of it became, and it's still a pretty big deal as an important song in the whole music and sports world. But let's look at the original artist. It was in a 1976 album. Band's first album. Their album was called "Keeps Us Off the Streets," and the band's name was Hello. And they had an album that was mostly covers, but they had one song on there written by Mr. Russ Ballard, and it was called "New York Groove."
Yes, it was.
So-
yes, it was.
Ace Frehley's version of New York Groove is my number 10. I love the song. That song is still relevant today. It still sounds great today. It doesn't necessarily sound dated.
I still hear it on the radio.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's all over a sports broadcast when New York teams are playing and whatever. But the thing I found out that's very interesting, because I was looking at their first album, which is mostly covers. It's very interesting that on that same album is a cover of "And Then She Kissed Me."
Which Kiss covers.
Yeah, I just found it very strange. It was neat. But yeah, my number 10 is the Ace Frehley cover of New York Groove.
That's wicked. Cool.
Ace always does good covers.
My number 9, yesterday I was talking to T-Bone, and I think it was yesterday. I made a last-minute revision on my list. I originally had something else here, and then I felt that I was just being pretentious. So I put in something I truly love and something that connects me with the Meat Man, and that is Jacob Moon's cover of Subdivisions, which is done live on video on a rooftop in Hamilton at sunset. What more do you want? He does everything just himself, and he's got a little handheld recorder with the word Subdivisions recorded on it that he plays into the microphone. He's got one guitar. He's got his rhythm guitar that he's playing live, and then he puts it on a loop when he's got to play the solo, which is done on a second guitar that's on a stand. And it's all happening live at sunset. Am I missing anything there, Meat?
Well, the first thing that I thought of when you said that was the little voice recording of Subdivisions. I mean, yeah, that's what he did all the time. He would say Subdivisions and then play the song, and he'd use that for the loop. But when he went and played for Rush at the Songwriting Hall of Fame, when he played with them, he mellowed them, and he actually got Neil Peart to say Subdivisions in the tape recorder, and that's what he used from then on.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know that because you know Jacob Moon personally.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Quite
So,
well, yeah.
Yeah. And I would not have heard that song if it wasn't for Eric coming over one afternoon and saying, because one thing that he likes to do is come over and watch YouTube. So he came over, we had my laptop out, and he's like, check this out. And I was like, sold. And I believe that was the same visit that resulted in me ordering Hibakusha on CD from Amazon during all in one afternoon of watching videos on YouTube. So I owe the Meat Man quite a few musical memories. But yeah, that was my number 9. Very long-winded. Rob, take it away.
All right. Well, one of the things that I wanted to do with my list was to choose songs that were kind of the artist actually made it kind of their own. And I thought, okay, number 9. This is a song that I'm familiar with only one artist. So I was surprised to find out that the artist that I chose that did the cover was did this cover. So originally written by Chris Christopherson, Me and Bobby McGee.
Ha-ha!
By
Okay,
Gordon Lightfoot.
I'm just going to pause you for 1 second. One of the very first comments that I got from Rick, the frickin' coach, was somebody better have picked Me and Bobby McGee. Big applause for Rob Daniels. I can go to work on Monday with my head held high. I owe you, Rob.
Even though they were probably thinking the Janis Joplin version, I bet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Doesn't matter. He just said Me and Bobby McGee. That's all he said.
See,
Gordon Lightfoot released it almost a year before Joplin did.
Oh yeah.
So
that's neat.
Wicked.
And can I give you a thumbs up for getting 2 of the Canadian Gords in there? And you're only 3 songs in.
No problem.
I'm going to turn up the lights a little bit here.
It looks like he's happy regardless, though. That's awesome. Oh, Rob, you made my night. You made my night, buddy. Okay, T-Bone.
That's better.
Are you going to make anybody else's list wishes come true here?
No, I'm afraid mine's going to be the most forgettable list of the bunch here. But anyway, this one has a slight tie into Rob Collins only because it is a song from a soundtrack, but it's not super obscure, and there'll probably be some people that obviously prefer the original, but I particularly love the Wallflowers version of David Bowie's Heroes from the only, as far as I'm concerned, the only good thing about that Godzilla movie. I really I can't emphasize how much I love their version of that song. Yeah. So that's my next pick. I'm not putting these in any order, but that is next one off my list.
I own that Godzilla CD.
So do I. Didn't Rage Against the Machine do a Springsteen song on there too?
They did a Zeppelin. They did Kashmir with Puff Daddy. I think it was, or was it Puff Daddy with Tom Morello?
Yeah, I was going to say I thought Rage
it was Jimmy Page. It was Jimmy Page.
I thought it was Jimmy Page and Puff Daddy.
And Puff Daddy.
Tom Morello's on the single that I have.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool. So T-Bone has brought in Godzilla tonight, which is something that I personally did not predict would happen.
Didn't see that coming.
Well done. Oh, that's harsh. Sarah's so nice.
I know.
Sarah's so nice.
Jeez.
Oh my God.
Sorry, Meat. I'm gonna have to write ODP2 now. I got to get Sarah back on my side.
Yeah, there you go. You got to do what you got to do. You got to impress the ladies.
I think T-Bone's working on a new song called Bleep Pants. But anyway, Harrison, what do you got coming up?
It has been discussed.
What you got, buddy?
My ninth entry is Bruce Dickinson, but it's not Delilah in a leopard print suit. It's from a little event from 2012 known as the Sunflower Super Jam. And this was a sort of gathering of a whole bunch of big names in music for a show performance for charity. And so you got people like Brian May, Alice Cooper on the same song, those two, for even one. You've got like Mr. John Roth, and you have Bruce Dickinson. And The cover I've picked is Bruce Dickinson doing Thin Lizzy's Emerald.
Ooh, I don't know that one.
Yeah, you probably don't. I reviewed it quite a while back, and your comment was something along the lines of like,
ooh, I don't know that one.
That's another CD to add to my collection. And,
Yeah. You know what, Harrison? At some point or another, we're gonna have to do Mike buys his Amazon wish list or Discogs wish list show with you, and we'll just go through some of these items. We'll look them up on Discogs, and I'll buy them.
yeah, I've made you spend a bit of money.
Yeah, but I haven't regretted those purchases.
I'm glad to hear that.
We got Mr. Bronze Leg checking in from England, but no, we haven't changed the video format at all. Nothing has changed. So I am afraid, sir, I would love you to be watching tonight, but that's on your end, and I'm sorry, I'm not very good at tech support. I'm no Buried on Mars. But Aaron,
Yes.
you got your number 9 lined up for us.
Oh, yeah. One of my favorite bands, probably. I can remember the first time I got their first album, and me and my buddy Brian sat on the floor of the living room just laughing. Every song was so much fun. And my wife made me promise that I wouldn't make every of my 11 songs this band. I love Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Yeah, you mentioned this to me.
And they have done so much for humanity. It's wonderful. So I had to pick one, and I went with a track off that first record, and they did Anne Murray's Danny's Song.
Wow.
And it's awesome. Pardon me.
Somebody's near the highway.
Yeah. So yeah, Danny's Song by Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. It's off the album Have a Ball.
Nice.
I've seen that album in the store before. That's cool, Aaron.
Awesome.
I like your pick. And this brings us to the Meat Man to finish the round.
Okay, so everything from on my last 9 are all live ones, and a lot of them are like people I know or local shows that I've seen or whatever. The first one is that you showed the Clockwork Orange last week with
I did.
the Judas Priest. Well, that band, except for a different guitar player, not Zavo, but another guitar player. I remember a couple years before that, around 1991, I was doing sound for them at a bar called Arpos in Waterloo. And they did a set there. It was really good, but I'll never forget that the first song they did was Queen of the Reich. And his singing on it was just killer. And to this day, I've never seen any band even attempt to play that song or cover that song in any way. So I had to give it up to Dave Zook, and his opening scream in Queen of the Reich was just amazing. I just like his vocals in that Victim of Changes are. So that's my number 9. Technically, for writing it down, it would be Queen of the Reich by A Clockwork Orange.
Who we have seen on the show before. As you mentioned, we played their version of Victim of Changes.
Yeah.
Featuring an old pal of Rob. I believe you knew Rob Zabo.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, I grew up with Rob. He was my very first friend. So
there you go. I know.
That's and I actually was just talking to his sister, who's a family friend as well, just talking to her yesterday about that very performance, The Victim of Changes. I'm like, have you ever seen this video of your brother? And sent it to her. It's the first time she'd ever seen it. So that was pretty cool. Thanks, Meat Man. My number now, 8. Very few people have heard this track. It was originally only on the vinyl, and then it was reissued on the remixed CD, which I may have somewhere around me. But it's Brant Bjork's Halamanta album, and the bonus track was him covering "Take Me Away" by Blue Oyster Cult. And I picked it for 2 reasons, because it's a song about UFOs, which I'm a sucker for that theme. I could do a top 11 UFO theme songs any day. And I just love that Brant Bjork album. I'm not sure if Meat was there that night that I very first heard it, but we were at. So. There was a party at Will's place. It was Will, I think. And Tom played 2 bands for me that night. He played Chevy and he played Brant Bjork. And I ended up going on Amazon buying both albums the next day.
That's cool.
Yeah. So that's my number 8, Brant Bjork, Take Me Away by Blue Oyster Cult.
Right on.
And that brings us to Rob with your number 8.
My number 8, originally performed by Nirvana. Ooh. And covered in this case by Tori Amos. Smells Like Teen Spirit.
Meat Man. Yeah. Yeah.
That would be my number 8.
Great one.
I've seen her do that live at Massey Hall.
Yeah. That's cool. Respect.
Very cool.
Very cool.
Very cool. I forgot all about that one.
I like it.
All right, T-Bone.
Okay. Next up here is a band I could have probably picked 11 covers from just them, but I limited myself to 1 per band.
I know who it is.
I'm a huge Van Halen fan. And the reason I picked this one is it's one of the first songs of theirs I really got into, or I really kind of discovered them through Deke, as I discovered everybody through Deke, but is "Oh Pretty Woman" by Van Halen from Diver Down in 1982. I had the 45 single with the a cappella "Happy Trails" on the other side, and I wore that thing out realizing that I really loved that band. So I had to give it up for that version for Van Halen.
Wicked. You know, I got to tell 2 brief anecdotes, one of which is that song is one of the things that kind of like helped my mother accept my rock and roll obsession, that she knew some of the songs at least. And the second anecdote is I remember driving home from like Pickering or somewhere with Jen's mom. We had just hired a DJ to do our wedding, and we were driving Jen's mom back home to Brampton, and I was playing "Oh Pretty Woman" by Van Halen, and she's in the back seat. She just goes, "Who is this that is desecrating Pretty Woman by Roy Orbison?"
It's funny you say desecrating, because one thing I forgot to mention that I think is kind of funny is they mess up a line, and they leave out a whole line in that song.
Yes,
they did. Version.
Yes.
Coming out of the bridge, they sing one line, which is kind of a bastardization of the 2 lines they should do.
Right.
And
it's
yeah. And for me, I actually like that better.
You know, there's something to be said for it. It gives it a more hurried feel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Excellent pick, T-Bone. Mr. Yankokovic.
I might lose a bit.
You know what? I'm going to hate you all night for the name that you picked.
I think every time you look away, he adds a consonant.
Yeah. I wish he'd add some vowels. There need to be more vowels.
I know. There's like 2 or something, 3.
I've got a great name lined up for the Judas Priest show. I cannot wait.
Cool. That's another one that's actually a remake from last year.
Remastered.
Yeah, remastered. That's what we'll call it. Nigel Tufnel Top 10 Remastered Episodes. Yes, great. Harrison, I'm stealing it. This is what the collective is all about. Go ahead, Harrison.
I might lose a bit of credibility for this one. But it was my introduction to the music of Stevie Wonder, and I do like the music of Stevie Wonder a lot. And does anyone remember a group called Stars on 45?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Well, this is their Stars on Stevie, which is a great big medley of all these Stevie Wonder songs, and I love it to this day.
Fine.
Nice.
Good enough.
Nice.
Good enough.
When I was younger, I thought it was Stevie himself. I didn't pick up that it was, a recreation, a very faithful one of them.
That's very cool. I think I'm going to have to check that out. I've never heard that.
This gentleman is asking what Judas Priest show. The answer is last May, the very end of May, was Harrison's very first appearance on the show, and we did the Nigel Tufnel Top 10 Judas Priest albums. So this year, it's going to be the first show of June. It's June 4th, I think it is. Yeah, June 4th. Harrison and I are going to be revisiting the Judas Priest Nigel Tufnel Top 10, broadcasting in better quality and with more guests. We're going to have John T. Snow with us, and we're going to have Mr. Jeff Stephen graphing live, making graphs. Looking forward to it. And yeah, there you go. See, there's a lot of good memories there. Oh, Max, he's one of your biggest fans, man. Be nice. He's one of your biggest fans.
Hey, Mike Kudis, stop flirting with Harrison.
You got to scratch out. Got to
It's
scratch
a
out
long
thirsty
hair.
and miserable.
It's the long hair, man. It's a long hair. He's just attracted to long hair.
You know what? I just remembered we did at least 2 Judas Priest shows last year, because I did one where I kind of did the history of Judas Priest way earlier than the one that we did.
Yeah, that was like lead singer's disease or something, wasn't it?
Oh, we did another. No, that was later on. We did another show called Lead Singer's Disease. I did that one with Deke. Man, there's so many great shows we did last year. I'm getting nostalgic. But sorry, Aaron.
Yes.
Go ahead with your number 8.
And Stevie Wonder was in my also rans.
Nice.
His cover of We Can Work It Out is really, really, really good. Okay, so my next one. Oh, I love this song. Okay. Pearl Jam.
Thank you, Kevin.
Pearl Jam covering Victoria Williams, Crazy Mary.
Good one. Yeah.
That version is awesome. And I love the Victoria Williams. I have it here too. But the way Eddie sings that and the way they put it together is really cool.
Now, that was originally from a compilation CD.
Yes, The Sweet Relief.
Right, that was it. It was always something that was on demand at the record store.
Yeah.
Jade would remember. Meet, you look deep in contemplation.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking at my number 8.
Open door piss.
Not yet.
Soon to be a cover, maybe.
I
There
hope
will
Max
be
the Axe needs to cover that. Max the Axe needs to cover that.
Let's start some controversy.
You never know what might come. You just never know.
You never know.
Okay, go ahead with your number 8.
My turn. It is my turn. Okay, number 8. It's funny that we were talking about Rob Zabo, because number 8 is coming from a band called the Groove Daddies.
Aaron knows.
Rob Zabo and Jeff Cowell, who I went to high school with, and Patty Flynn, who's back in Ireland. But a lot of us were very into the Groove Daddy shows at the Volcano in Kitchener. It was saw them so many times. And the Groove Daddies were really good at throwing covers in. And I remember they did a cover of "Head Like a Hole" by a 9 Inch Nails, and they did My Sharona and stuff like this. But my favorite cover, and it's still, it's so cool, and I wish I would have seen it. But it is Alice Cooper and Clones, which was really cool for me, because when they played it, I mean, the only Alice Cooper album I've ever owned in my life was Flush the Passion. And so I know I knew the song very well. So when they played that song live, and I had a few beers in me, it was a great time. And there it is. So technically it is Clones by the Groove Daddies.
Yep.
That's a song that Harrison has disparaged in the past, at least the Cooper version.
Oh, yeah. I love
that.
Flush the Fashion, but Clones and Pain I have no interest for.
Which are the 2 songs that I love.
See,
And, the Smashing Pumpkins also covered Clones.
if you think about the riff of Clones or whatever, and think of it kind of bluesed up and kind of heavied up, it really does work. I think you might probably really love the cover if you heard it. It's been so long since I've heard it. So there you go.
That's cool. And Jade remembers the Groove Daddies. So I think I'm going to have to play that Clockwork Orange track later on because Rob's in it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
They played Conestoga when I was there.
Dave Haslam says that he knows Meat's number 1 because he was standing right behind him when he was taking his open door piss. My number 7 is a little off the beaten track. And I wish Deke was here tonight because he knows this one, and none of you guys will. Maybe T-Bone, maybe. But there's a fella named Mitch LaFon, and he put together a Kiss covers compilation called World with Heroes. and all the proceeds went to palliative care in his home province of Quebec. And he assembled an astounding list of talent for this actually triple CD, basically. If you include the following EP that came out and all of the iTunes bonus tracks, he basically put out a triple CD of Kiss covers. He got guys like Phil Narrow, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago. He had LA Guns and Brighton Rock covering Creatures of the Night. Now, what they did with the song was they slowed it down and turned it into like a haunting kind of acoustic ballad. You know, it's barely moving. And if you remember Jerry McGee from Brighton Rock, he had quite a voice. So, you know, when he starts throwing in some emphasis during some of the key lines, it's really quite haunting. So for a band that totally changed the original, and I don't know where they got the idea to turn Creatures of the Night of all songs into a ballad, and a really, really, really different kind of ballad, like no drums. You got to give him credit. Rest in peace, Jerry McGee, Brighton Rock, Creatures of the Night.
Wow, that's neat.
Brian's getting way ahead of us here, but that's a fucking killer pick right there. Lots of great picks here. Over to you, Rob.
All right.
Number 7.
Number 7. Well, from this particular album, I could have chosen a bunch of different covers because it actually is a cover album. I could have chosen Lover Man or the Turn the Page or even Stone Cold Crazy. But I decided to go with the Blue Oyster Cult's Astronomy off the Metallica Garage Inc. album.
Nice.
Look at all the Blue Oyster Cult love tonight.
Because
everybody gives
for the longest time, I was obsessed with that song to the point where I was writing extra lyrics in almost a stream of consciousness kind of way. It was just like I was sitting there and just writing these lyrics down for additional verses of the song. I don't know where that stuff is today, but it was bizarre.
Rob, I'm giving you props for that one big time, man. That resonates with me. I love that cover. I'd say that you've hit 2 grand slams tonight.
And don't forget, that's a Mike Fraser.
Joint. Mike Fraser mixed that.
That's a Mike Fraser joint. It is.
We've had two people comment about Diamonds and Rust. I picked Hendrix doing Dylan. We haven't seen that Who song yet. No, I have not changed video formats. Maybe I should comment. No,
yes,
I have not changed video formats. I don't know if that's even going to be seen on his end. That's interesting. And I haven't heard the Hue. Is it Hue or Who?
That's a good one.
Doing Sad But True. That's
good shout.
That's cool. Wicked one. Wicked. Okay, so I believe we're on T-Bone next.
Okay, so awesome pick, by the way, Rob.
Thank you.
Hanoi Rocks, 1984's Two Steps from the Moon. They covered CCR's 1970 Up Around the Bend, which I absolutely love that version. Deke actually, I was talking to Deke a couple nights ago because I was feeling him out saying, I feel like I'm forgetting some tunes, and he listed a bunch. And this one was in there, and I'm like, yes, that one would, for me to be true to me, that one would have to be on here. So Hanoi Rocks, Up Around the Bend.
That's a nice one. I've never heard it.
My next pick. Yeah, it's good. It's a good tune. I actually really love that whole album. That was Razzle's last album before he jumped into a sports car with Vince Neil and died.
Well, technically, Vince Neil murdered him.
Yes. Well, yes. I was trying to be nice, but you're right. Why are we being nice to Motley Crue, eh, Meat?
Well, T-Bone, I gotta tell you.
Listen to Motley Crue. That's right.
Yes. I gotta tell you, T-Bone, and Harrison knows this. One of my most popular posts was what did I call them, Harrison? I had like a top 5 douchebags list.
Oh yeah, like
What did I
top five
call it?
douchebags of rock or scumbags
So
or something.
it was something like that, and I believe I put Vince Neil at like number 2 because not only did he kill another human being because he was driving drunk, it wasn't the last time he drove drunk.
No.
So that's why I put him at number 2. The only person I put higher was that was a child molester from some Welsh punk band. So, yeah, that's about the only crime I put higher than drinking and driving.
Don't forget the Geoff Tate is a douche saga.
But you know what? When we say Jeff Tate is a douche, that's Stabby McStabby Pants is what Aaron calls them.
Remind me when you do that top 11 list. I'll take that Friday off.
I'm sorry, I'm losing track. Are we on Harrison next?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Harrison, take her away, buddy.
This song was always going to make a list, and it already has. You know, it's been mentioned in the comments as well, but I'm not doing the Hendrix version, and I'm not even doing the U2 version, because the song is All Along the Watchtower, as you've probably guessed by now, but I neglected to find out when or where or why, but there is a video on YouTube of a TV performance of Eric Clapton and Lenny Kravitz covering the song. And I gotta say,
nice.
I'm more of a Clapton fan than I am a Hendrix fan, for sure.
Okay.
And Lenny Kravitz does it real well as well.
I like Lenny Kravitz.
Nice.
Yeah, I like him. Oh, look at this pick here. I have this on the Talus. I think it's called "If We Knew Now." Heapster will know. He'll know what it's called. He knows. He knows Phil Narrow as well. Oh, who did we lose? We lost T-Bone.
Oh yeah.
Well, he has Wi-Fi issues way out there in the wilderness of Thunder Bay, but he will try again, I'm sure. Been awesome so far, guys. Thanks, especially like Harrison's list.
Thanks.
All right, so she's got to go do something, but thanks for tuning in, Jade. Appreciate it. We're still going to run that Rob Zabo video, I think, at break time. But okay, T-Bone's back. T-Bone's back.
I don't know. I'm in the wrong spot now, but that's okay.
That's okay. We'll just adjust it on the next go round.
Doesn't really matter.
I'm not
sorry,
gonna.
I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there.
No problem. I just told him that you have bad Wi-Fi in the wilderness.
Yes.
We are not going to discuss the Billy Sheehan story tonight.
I'm on an episode of Scared and Alone right now.
Yeah, Naked and Afraid.
Naked and Afraid. Wow, that's what we.
The
call
Billy
it here.
Sheehan story belongs to Deke, so we're not going to. That's for Deke,
Yes.
and I don't think he wants to tell it anymore.
No.
That's a good pick. Actually, this guy right here, Mr. Rob, he is the guy who got me into this version of that song. And Kevin has a comment.
He always does.
Now, I believe in the running order, we are at Aaron now.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. A classic. Willie Nelson doing Hoagie Carmichael's Georgia on My Mind.
Great pick.
That's classy.
Right?
That is a good one, man.
I don't even need to say anything. Everybody just went, yep.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you don't need to say anything.
No, that's great.
Billy Sheehan, I guess best known as David Lee Roth's bass player during the glory years.
No, best known as Deke's nemesis on this show.
Yeah, that is. If Deke wants, you know what? Just go to Deke's site, Arena Rock, Thunder Bay Arena Rock. Just search for Billy Sheehan interview, and away you go. Have fun. Meat Man, take us out of this round.
My number 7. One of the last big shows that I've seen in 2019. Went to Lee's Palace, and it's the second time I had seen the Drive By Truckers.
Yes.
Band here, they're great live and awesome stuff. And
Mike Fraser loves them.
It's weird to think about it now because how packed that was and how jammed we were together, and it seems like it'll never be that again. This is unfortunate, but they rarely do covers, actually. And they were on stage drinking a bottle of Jack Daniels, just passing it around, taking big slugs off it. And he says, "We're going to play Ain't Talking About Love. And I'm going to drink some whiskey because that's what Michael Anthony would do." And they did. He took a huge slug off it, and they played Ain't Talking About Love. Boy, and right about the middle of the set, and it was awesome. It was just energy and raw and rough, and it was great. So, Ain't Talking About Love by the Drive-By Truckers.
Nice.
So is that one that they've only ever played live and never recorded?
Yeah, that's only a live thing, and like I've looked for it, like it's not a track or anything. Yeah.
I'm not sure about that.
Are you making rules?
Sorry, I said about the comments here. This is a great one. I played this one in the car yesterday. I bought this. Aaron was with me. I bought this in Toronto at Sonic Boom, a CD single with Number of the Beast. It's acoustic, and it's not Billy Corgan singing. It's somebody else from Zwan. But maybe somebody can fact check this. I don't think that's right. But anyway,
I think he's casting shade at the fact that Led Zeppelin aren't as, at least rumored to not be as original as they would say.
Fair point. So if this was Wheel of Fortune, T-Bone just spun a big old lose a turn, and we're over to me. And then T-Bone, unfortunately, you're now last in line in the next round. So hopefully this doesn't screw Aaron up too much in his scorekeeping.
I'm drinking water, so I should be okay.
Okay. Yes, Rob mentioned it, but it wasn't his pick. He picked Astronomy from that album. I'm going to go into my number 6, and then after this round, we'll do the break where we'll play the Victim of Changes track. The coach was asking me earlier today if Johnny Cash was going to be making the lists, and he was throwing some heavy, heavy praise at Hurt. Deservedly so. But when you take all of the American recordings...
Foreshadowing.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so maybe take what I say with a grain of salt. But when you take the American recordings as a whole, which are largely covers, there's very few originals on the American recordings. A lot of other songs stand out. And I think the one, so I was only going to pick one, that stands out to me the most is Johnny Cash's cover of I Hung My Head by Sting. It's a ballad. It's a story about a man who's, he's on the range and he's practicing his aim and he sees a rider on the hill and he pulls the trigger. The rider falls. It was his brother. And they end up hanging him for the murder. But it's a really haunting song. I don't know where Sting came up with these lyrics. But, as great as the song itself is, when you hear Johnny Cash sing it, it just goes to a completely other level. A runner-up that I really wanted to pick was... the one that he did, the Bob Marley cover that he did with Joe Strummer.
A Redemption song?
Yes, that would have been a runner-up, but I had to pick one, and I picked I Hung My Head because it's just, damn, you cannot help but get chills. Okay, so Chris Thuss, the fact-checker, is confirmed. Okay. Man, we got some great comments here tonight. Jeez, amazing comments. No, I'm going to say that somebody going solo and singing something that they co-wrote would not count as a cover in this.
Yeah, he did write the song, didn't he?
He co-wrote it.
Yeah, I didn't. If it was an artist that had, gone solo and they were the original singer of the song, I didn't count that as a cover because, then you could technically say Dio doing like "Man on the Silver Mountain."
Yeah, that's fair.
And
or David Lee Roth doing "Jump."
Yeah.
It's funny. This is, of all the shows, this one had the one with the no amount of discussion at all about rules. So that's just kind of interesting.
That's true.
Rob, over to you, my friend.
Okay, well, my number 6, I've mentioned this before in a previous show. Originally written by Michael Jackson. This is Alien Ant Farm's Smooth Criminal.
Ooh, foreshadowing.
Yeah, it's a good cover.
You've picked this before, Rob.
I did. It was on another. I can't remember what it was for, but I do remember choosing it before.
You did choose it before.
One Hit Wonders.
That was it.
Yeah.
Yep. That was it.
That's in my also rans.
That's cool, Rob.
And I mean, the song itself just lends itself to this kind of metal cover, and it works. It works really well.
Rick Coach approves, and so does Max the Axe. So does Chris Thuss. And I'm just going to address Lana real quickly. Let's just say Richie sings better than John, and put a period at the end of that sentence.
Yeah.
That's not even controversial to say. Although, if Chris Sarr is still watching, his wife Michelle gets really pissed off when I say that. She likes John. Over to
Even
you.
even the keyboard player in Bon Jovi sings better than John.
Actually, a true fact. He sings lead on a Stones
In These
cover.
Arms. He sings lead on In These Arms, and it's the best thing about the Bon Jovi show because, you know, at least in modern day, because it's got a competent singer behind it.
I bet even Kitchener's own Phil Exonides probably sings better than you. Possible.
I have not heard this new Saxon covers album, but if they cover Problem Child, I'm into that.
That's interesting.
Yes, they could. Okay, sorry, Harrison.
Well, the Gimli's out of the bag. I am going with Smooth Criminal, but I'm not going with the Alien Ant Farm version. I'm going with an instrumental, orchestral version done by violin virtuoso David Garrett. His stock and trade is sort of, you know, covers of rock songs with a violin and stuff. And, Rob mentioned that the song, you know, is quite partial to metal. Well, metal and orchestras go well together, so the song works very well as an orchestral piece as well.
100%. Good one, Harrison. I wonder if Apocalyptica will show up tonight.
Is this David Garrett guy, Harrison? Is he? Does he bring to mind Nigel Kennedy at all?
No.
No. Okay. I in my head that's where I went, but okay.
Incidentally, Aaron, Jen says the game has started.
No score?
No score yet. It's just started.
One would hope no score yet.
Who's winning? The Bears.
The Bears. As long as she doesn't say that it's Winnipeg winning, then we're all good.
Well, it doesn't even matter. I mean,
no, actually, it doesn't.
It doesn't matter. So.
But you know what does matter? Your list.
Oh yeah. I have one of those.
You do. You do.
Yeah. Okay. So I got another pure classic here. This is Aretha Franklin covering Otis Redding's Respect.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, I didn't even know that was a cover.
Wow.
You didn't know that was a cover?
Really good.
I just associated with her my whole life.
Oh, okay.
I've never looked at the writing credit.
All right, yeah, because it's on.
Awesome.
I can't remember which Otis album it's on, but it's on the greatest hits of his as well. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I got to get Aretha in there, as you know, she's awesome. So.
Addressing Mr. Braun's leg, Rob did pick Astronomy, which is on Garage Inc. But we might see a Garage Days era song.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, geez, Haslam's aggressive. I'll see you that and raise you Ike and Tina. Proud
that's
Mary.
Another good one. Yeah. That's another good one.
All right, Meat Man. What do you got lined up?
My number 6 in 2012. Went and saw a show in Toronto. It was at Echo Beach in Toronto, and the only time I've been there. And it was perfect because it was the day before Sausage Fest, the Thursday before, and Sausage Fest was on the Friday. And it was a Tenacious D show, and it was the second time I've seen a Tenacious D. This time it was just awesome. It was an amazing show.
Yeah, I remember hearing about it the whole way there.
Yeah, the opening band though, I had never seen before, and I had never heard of before. And we go in there, and they're selling shirts of this opening band, and it's a Queen set. And I'm like, this is really weird. Like, why are all these Queen things? And it was a band called the Proto Men, and they're a very strange band with a lot of people on stage and dressed up like androids and stuff. And they're really good musicians. It was a wacky show, and we're waiting for the Queen because that's all you're seeing is Queen stuff. So they're playing songs and it's other songs, but they ended up playing one Queen song and one Queen song only. And it's actually on a soundtrack that I know Rob Daniels has featured on his show, and their song "Princess of the Universe" was the only Queen song they played, and I remember it was fucking fantastic. They were so good on stage. Tons of harmony vocals. It just stood out as wow. And so that is my number 6. It is technically Princess of the Universe by the Proto Men.
Okay.
Awesome.
People dressed as robots that are also good musicians reminds me of another band that are pretty good at covers, which are the Cybertronic Spree. So no prizes for guessing which robots they dress as.
Cyberman? I don't know. Oh, Cybertron. You said Cybertron. I thought you said Cybermen.
No, Cybertronic.
So they dress up as Transformers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Funny.
I didn't know Kelly Clarkson covered Respect. That's pretty cool. Look at all these comments, man. Stone Cold Crazy has been mentioned a couple of times in the comments.
Yes, it has.
Man, there's so many great comments here.
Yeah, LeBrain. Turns out RC is very good at Immigrant Song.
So am I. As you well know from reading Record Store Tales. Do you remember that? Okay, no, I sang it in Frankenmuth karaoke.
Nice.
T-Bone.
So is this and then we're taking a break right now?
Yeah, then we're gonna play a cover.
Okay. Appropriate.
Yeah.
Okay, so my next pick is by Aerosmith, covering a Johnny Burnett, Tim Bradshaw, Louis Mann, Howie K original song that was later covered by the Yardbirds and taken from the Yardbirds by Jimmy Page to Led Zeppelin. Train kept a rolling. And the version is from Live Bootleg 1978. That is the best version, and I love all their versions, but that's my favorite version, and that's my whatever number this is. That's that pick.
6. Yeah, Deke's favorite live album of all time.
Yeah, and mine too.
I feel like Deke is with us here in spirit.
Deke is with us in spirit. I tried to get him to pick like half of them, and I said I'll do a co-list because that'd be kind of fun.
Yeah,
because he could probably pick some stuff out of left field that would have made my list a little more spicy. But I think he's watching at home, watching me sweat here and enjoying it.
It could be.
But why are you sweating?
I don't know.
It's hot in Thunder Bay.
I feel right. I feel like I'm not as I'm not as broad of a experience in music as some of you guys. I'm a little more kind of down the middle here. So, but hey, that's good. I'm learning. That's why I watch the show. I learn every week when I watch the show.
Fair enough.
I've learned that I can't mention Heroes by the Wallflowers ever again.
It's fine, man. I gave you props for that.
I like that version.
You can mention Heroes by Johnny Depp.
No, but
on the Hollywood Vampires.
Yeah.
Foreshadowing, by the way.
Oh,
not the best song, but the band.
Nice.
So this next video that we're going to play for the break is by the aforementioned Clockwork Orange, who was on Meat's list already. This is Victim of Changes, featuring Dave Zook on lead vocals and Gary Molinar on drums, Rob Sabo on rhythm guitar.
Nice.
And I will also say before I start this video, I had something else lined up for the mid-show position, but this is obviously more suitable. But I'm going to play the other video. I made a new video. We're going to play it at the end of the night.
Okay.
So this is Clockwork Orange, Victim of Changes. We'll see you after the break.
Rock it.
A little bit of Judas Priest. Don't you know that you are driving me insane? Leaving you kisses your wheel to laugh and gets right to my brain. You try to fight your way through life, try to get to new direction. Another woman's got a fan. She can get you lose infection. Oh yeah. Takes enough, but you ain't got so. Things are better when she's a fool. Take another look around, you're not going anywhere. You realize you're getting old, and no one seems to care. You try to find your way again, try to get some love. Another woman's got a man. She can get you down. Takes enough, but you ain't got so. Things are better when she gets through. You man, fooling with some. I want to know why is the wine? Get up, get out. You know you really feel it. I've had enough. I've had enough. Good God, fuck me. Was wonderful when she was mine, and she was wonderful when she was mine. Changes come over her body. She doesn't suit me anymore. Changes come over her body. She doesn't suit me anymore. Changing.
Wicked cover. This comment here just about sums it up. In the hockey game, the score is 1-0. Engvall just scored for the Leafs. Woohoo! And we're all back. We're ready to go. Ready to go into round the fifth, number five. And my number 5 is this dude right here. We'll do a close up, Mr. Sean Kelly. You may know Sean Kelly from Helix, or Coney Hatch, or Trapper, or Crash Kelly, or Nelly Furtado, a number of different artists. But this is Lee Aaron. Sorry, yes, she's got a new album just coming out. We'll be talking to him next week. Next week on the show, we'll be talking to Sean Kelly. It is next week, right? Yes, it is.
Yep.
This is a semi-classical album. And I know that that's the kind of thing that'll throw purists off immediately. But on the back cover, it says, Sean Kelly retools classic guitar works, taking the listener on a musical journey with arrangements that spring forth with percussion, strings, and brass. And electric guitar, too. There's a little bit of electric guitar on this. But of all the classical pieces that he covers, he does one mainstream pop piece. And that is a little song called Una Mente Criminal, or A Criminal Mind, by our very own Gowan, better known today as the lead singer of Styx. So this is an acoustic classical guitar version of A Criminal Mind by Gowan, and I can't wait to talk to him about it next week. Plug!
Yeah.
It's my number 5.
There you go.
Over to you, Mr. Daniels.
Okay, well, this particular cover, I was concerned that it wouldn't be admissible, but now with you, Mike, doing the instrumental, and Carrison doing an instrumental, I figured this number 5 should come as no surprise. Miko's Star Wars theme.
Cool.
That's a cover, technically. Yeah,
it is technically a cover,
for sure.
Absolutely.
And the thing is that it's different enough that he makes it his own in a lot of ways.
Very cool. I like it.
Meat, would you know if that guy still sings?
I don't know. He is a longtime friend, and he's an angry fellow. He rants a lot. He is still a great guitar player, and I'm curious. I have heard some things he did. He did a cover of MacArthur Park by Richard Harris or whatever. That was like a thrash version, but to answer your question, Lana, he probably still sings. He's gifted. That guy can sing whatever he wants, and for some reason, I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's move on.
What did I miss? Why is Rob laughing?
A thrash metal version of MacArthur Park? Oh, God.
A death metal. It's more of a death metal version.
That's even better.
Yeah. I haven't heard it in a long time. It's very eventful.
I can just hear it.
Hang on, let me see if I can fix my camera issue here.
Yeah, I really like that Nico, and it totally is a cover. I mean, it's you could argue it's one of the more inventive, neat covers because it's not just playing the song.
If I didn't make it clear, it is Sean Kelly on next week. And Scott Peddle knows Rob Zabo. All grew up in the same neighborhood. Rizzola Pony.
Yes. Yeah, I remember.
Steve Strongman, now a very successful blues guitar player.
Indeed, they're both very, very successful.
I don't care for Typo Negative covers, to be honest with you, Dave. Dave was with us the day that we saw Typo Negative opening for Queensryche. And I believe he was with the majority of the guys that were there pissing all over Typo Negative. I was the only one, in my memory, I was the only one there who enjoyed Typo Negative.
I have a feeling you're probably going to get blasted by Dave.
I think I will. But then again, Dave was really annoying that day. Anyway, over to you, Harrison Kopp.
Are you implying that I'm not going to be really annoying?
No, I'm just saying Dave Haslam, as much as I love the guy, I do sincerely. He's a fantastic guy. He's also one of the most annoying assholes I've ever met in my life.
Now
Over to you,
you're
Harrison.
flirting with Dave Haslam.
Yeah, now I'm flirting with Dave Haslam. They're stealing Harrison. He's stealing Harrison's thunder.
All right. I mentioned foreshadowing before the break,
He's
and one of the
right.
hardest
He's right.
one of the hardest things to do for this list was just pick one song with Alice Cooper involved.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yeah. And I ended up going for a bit of a 2-for-1 actually, because I chose the Hollywood Vampires 5-to-1 / Break On Through to the Other Side. Now it starts with, the stomping beat, 5-to-1, and that's a good intro for, the real meat, which is, Break On Through. Damn good cover. And one of my favorite parts of that whole song is after I think the first or the second chorus, these awesome dual guitars come in the background. I can't think of the exact moment it happens in terms of like the minute it happens, but you'll know it when you hear it. And of course, it's Alice Cooper, so it's excellent cover.
That's from the first. Sorry,
the first Hollywood Vampires album.
Yeah,
the covers one.
I've been on the record as being kind of anti-Doors in the past, which I've caught flack for, but I really love that cover, as you can well attest to.
Yeah, I'm in a similar boat. I don't think too much of them, but that's a great cover, that is.
Old No Name approves. All right, Aaron, what is your number 5?
Well, it's an album that's come up quite a bit already tonight, and I had a hard time picking a track because I can just give you the whole double disc and say, here you go. Do it. But it is Metallica from the Garage Inc. And I went with Whiskey in the Jar.
Nice.
Because there's something about playing that song in the car and you crank it and it works, I did not know that apparently the Dubliners did it first and Lizzie covered them.
Yep.
I did not know that.
Yeah.
So I learned something new. But I was, like Stone Cold Crazy, So What? I mean, there's so many great songs on that set, but I did go with Whiskey in the Jar just for that. Because it's awesome when you play it really loud.
I'm so glad you mentioned that, because Meat will remember one year where Sausage Fest had Whiskey in the Jar with equal amount of votes between the Dubliners, Metallica, and Thin Lizzy. And Tom, it was an admirable job. But ultimately impossible because the tempos don't really match and the keys don't really match. But he spliced all 3 versions together. We started with the Dubliners. It merged into the Lizzy version, which went to Metallica for the middle section, and I think back again to the other 2 versions. I think
it did go back again in some way. I can't remember.
And he called it a little ham-fisted, I believe. But considering the challenge of splicing the 3 versions together, it was pretty cool. I mean, nobody complained.
It was fun.
Yeah. All right, Meat Man, what's your number 5?
My number 5. Okay. Around 2000 or so, I used to see a lot of shows at the Volcano, and this is the second entrance from the Volcano. And the band I saw the most there was the Rheostatics. And one of the times I saw the Rheostatics open, the band who opened for them was a band called 6 Months. And you should know that the name 6 Months, if you remember, because they became Hibakusha. But when they first started, it was like, it's like this amazing group of musicians, and it's the same guys who are in Hibakusha. So at the time, I knew Paul, but didn't know him well. I had seen him play at the Walper, and it was always just him and a guitar, just strumming and ballads, and that was him, and he was great. And all of a sudden, he's in this opening band called 6 Months, and they're rocking it out. And they ended the set with a absolutely fucking amazing cover of Hot for Teacher. by Van Halen, and it was done amazing. Like, we're talking about people that are some of the best musicians in Canada, and their version of Hot for Teacher just rocked. And yeah, it started a big I love affair with Mr. McLeod and what he does. So technically, it is Hot for Teacher by 6 months.
Yeah, and just to clarify, that was Paul McLeod you were talking about as the lead vocalist. Singing Hot for Teacher. Aaron, can you imagine him singing that?
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah? I'm having a hard time imagining it.
No. I'm right there. We used to go see him at the Walper, that voice. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Does any of that stuff exist on tape, Meat?
The Walper stuff?
Or the 6 month stuff, or any of it? Because all I've got is the Paul McLeod albums and the Hibakusha.
Yeah.
6 months was a band before there was Hibakusha. They did not make an album. I did see once like a tape, like a bootleg tape that somebody recorded for Bottom, but there is no release of any sort that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of the beginning of them. It was cool.
Yeah, sounds great.
It was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing.
All right, T-Bone, number 5 for you, my friend.
I love the love from Meat for the covers of Van Halen songs.
Yeah, that's
awesome.
It true.
Yeah,
that's very true.
That's great. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
My next pick is I don't want to say unfortunately, fortunately, the same as Aaron's. Most recent pick is Whiskey in the Jar, Metallica, Grad, Jink, and that song, because I remember looking into it. We did a probably very bad version of it back in the day when I was playing in a band, but I remember looking into it back. That song way predates the Dubliners. Like,
yeah,
you look up Whiskey in the Jar, the old traditional Irish song. It says Round 533. I don't know if that's 533 the year or what the hell that means, but like that song goes way back. The Dubliners are the first ones that kind of recorded it in the 60s and made it a song, but it is an old Irish folk song that goes way back. It's probably been, words have been moved around, but I absolutely love the Metallica version of that song, and I'm glad that Aaron picked it as well. So yeah, Whiskey in the Jar. Some more love for that song from me.
Awesome. And that is our first overlap, is it, Aaron?
I think it is. Yeah.
Nice.
Yep.
I love having the scorekeeper with us. That's your official title now.
I do too, actually.
Yeah.
As a fan of the show, when I'm watching, I'm cheering for nothing, but at the same time, it's cool when they overlap.
And I know this gentleman specifically asked, where can I read the list afterwards? So, just go to the old MikeLadano.com right there, and Aaron, I will post the picture. Aaron texts me a picture of the list literally minutes after the end of the show.
That's so I don't forget.
Yeah, and I appreciate it. I have taken us into the top 4. Sorry, Harrison?
I was just going to say, while we're talking about traditional Irish songs, Rob Daniels will also know that the Sarah Connor Chronicles has another good cover of Donald, Where's Your Trousers?
Yes, it does.
Nice.
Man, there's been a lot of Mike Fraser love in this whole thing, eh?
Oh, who doesn't love Mike Fraser? Come on.
There you go.
Who doesn't love trousers?
Dude, he's one of my favorite people. Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Yes. You could pick Kickaxe or Joe Cocker. My number 4 is kind of off the wall one, but we've seen a lot of thrash tonight, and I had a choice. I wanted to pick one of 2 covers that Testament did that I really sincerely love, and I was choosing between Draw the Line and Sales of Charon, and they're both amazing versions. And just ultimately, what's that?
Is that not a Nobody's Fault? I don't think it's
they covered Nobody's Fault as well.
Oh, I didn't
Draw
know
the Line came later on, like maybe around the time of The Ritual, maybe.
Oh, okay, I didn't know that.
I'm not sure. I have it on a CD called the Best of Testament. It's like one of 2 like B-sides, and I think they're from the Ritual era. But I love the speed of it, and I love maybe I can understand the lyrics a little bit better when it's Chuck Billy singing them instead of Steven Tyler. But I love the energy of their cover of Draw the Line. And if it is the Ritual era, then it means it's Alex Skolnick on guitar. And I love Skolnick. I was listening to Testament in the car this week, and that's when I ultimately decided that I was putting one of those 2 songs on the list. but I chose Draw the Line.
Does he do the big scream part that Tyler does in that song?
He does. He kind of goes in a lower key.
Oh, okay.
He doesn't do the scream, but he does all the lyrics, the stream of consciousness.
I should hear that version just so I know what he says there, because oh my god, Tyler in that part, it's like who knows what the hell he says. Yeah.
Aaron, you had your hand up.
That's cool.
Oh yeah, I just wanted to add, and this is just putting that out there. We saw Testament open for Slayer on the farewell tour. They were the first of 5 bands that night, and they only got 45 minutes because they were still daylight when they started, and I got to say, I wish they'd played for 3 hours.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
Skolnick, man.
Yeah. Oh man, that was great.
And they've always had
that, but they played really well.
They've only had 2 members of the band that have been solid through the entire career. Well, not even really 2, because Chuck Billy is, I think, their second vocalist, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
I thought Steve Zetro Sousa was their first singer.
No, first singer was Chuck Billy.
Okay,
for sure.
I'm wrong. Anyway, only 2 members solid throughout the entire career, but they've always had like amazing drummers. They've had Dave Lombardo on one album, and Paul Bustoff, and all these John Dett, all these great drummers. What's that?
Basically, just poaching all the Slayer drummers.
A lot of the time. But they kept these bands. These guys got Gene Hoglan.
Gene Hoglan. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm taking away from Rob's time.
Yeah.
That's okay.
You go ahead, Rob.
All right. Well, just to get back to just Whiskey in the Jar for just a second. When I did my live stream on St. Patrick's Day, I'm just learning the ukulele. I played a version of Whiskey in the Jar called Kilgary Mountain. It was originally done by Roger Whittaker. And was giving it a try because I'd never performed on my live stream before, so I decided to give that a shot. It was one of the songs that goes back, like you said, it's not just the Dubliners; it goes back much further than that.
Cool.
That's cool.
In any case,
Maybe we'll have to have you on with Mike Slayan doing riffs of the 90s on ukulele and him on electric guitar.
No, we won't. Anyway, number 5. Number 4. My mistake. Number 4. When I first heard this song, it gave me chills. Performed by Disturbed. This was a song originally written by Paul Simon. This is The Sounds of Silence.
Yeah.
And
more foreshadowing.
When I first heard that song, I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. Just the deep vocals and just the emotion that's put into it. I thought it was an amazing cover.
Well, we've had a couple comments about that one already, so we've fulfilled a couple wishes. And it's probably best that I don't even mention what I did when I had introduced that song at Sausage Fest. So we'll go straight to Harrison.
Well, let's put it this way. I respect the spirit of that song, but his voice makes me want to jump off a bridge over troubled water. Right?
We lost meat. Oh no, we didn't lose meat.
Frozen meat.
Oh, we had frozen meat.
Frozen meat. Okay. Anyway, go on.
Harrison, it's up to you, man.
Yes. This is a cover of my favorite song from the 60s, which is Bus Stop by the Hollies. And one day, about a year ago maybe, I was just scrolling through my YouTube recommended, and I see a video of and it's a Bus Stop, but it's by Smash Mouth. And I'm like, Smash Mouth covering Bus Stop, please, I've got to hear this. Turns out I did have to hear it because it was very good. And I liked it very much, and I'm probably going to lose some credibility for this, They've swapped out most of the guitar for keyboards, but that's fine because I love keyboards. And LeBrain's face is stopping me from continuing from my composure.
What is the song?
Smash Mouth.
Bus Stop.
Bus Stop.
Okay.
Bus Stop. That day she.
Yeah, I was trying to put it.
Yeah, bro.
If
Good
somebody
pick, eh?
somebody picks
pick,
I'm a
Harrison.
believer, I'm actually leaving. I'm walking off my own show. If somebody picks I'm a believer.
How to make
Actually,
my
Aaron.
I may
Take
put
notes,
that.
take
I
notes.
think I'm going to add that in right now.
You'll see me pull a Billy Bob Thornton. I'll be like, fuck this.
No, we'll pick the Shrek version of Hallelujah instead.
Oh, is that a version? I don't even know.
I don't know who sings it, but there.
There
Oh,
are
geez.
several versions.
Oh, geez.
John Cale does the one in the film. Rufus Wainwright does the one on the soundtrack.
Okay.
So
Ooh.
All right. Aaron, I think we're.
Yes. Aaron's turn.
Okay, so my next one is the Monkees. I'm a believer. I'm kidding.
As performed.
I just
as
wanted to
performed
see if
by
Mike would
Donkey.
actually leave. No, there he goes.
No, I'm having too much fun. I'd just be like, hide myself. So I'd be like, yeah, I'm gone. I'm not here, guys.
That was awesome.
Oh, okay. Actually, my next one is a song Charles Manson stole from the Beatles. We're
Wow.
stealing it back.
That is awesome.
U2's Helter Skelter from the Rattle and Hum.
I do like that cover. I loved
I
the
do.
movie.
Yes.
I remember seeing the movie at the theater, and I thought it was just fantastic.
Actually, I wish now I would have put that on my list. Good pick.
My
Yeah,
I
it
was
was a very
thinking-
good pick.
I was thinking of putting
Fantastic
Pat
version.
Benatar's cover, which is also a great cover of that song.
Oh,
I don't
Yeah.
know.
yeah. That Rattle and Hum was my. I had the cassette and I just wore it right out.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff on that album.
You know,
I love
as
that
we
album.
as we get down to the ends of the list, I'm going to make a prediction that Uncle Meat did not pick Motley Crue's cover of Helter Skelter.
Oh no! Even though that's at least acceptable Motley Crue.
Yeah,
Show
but,
the Devil is acceptable Motley Crue.
yeah, but Meat had to kick that one out because he picked Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Oh no! No theater.
Anarchy in
Nothing
the
to do with
UK.
no theater of pain. No. Please no.
What did you pick, Meat?
Oh, number 4. My number 4. In 1994, I traveled to Buffalo with Jacob Moon and a bunch of buddies to go see my favorite musician of all times, and that was Mr. Steve Morse. And I saw my first chance to see the Dixie Dregs play together. Was a dream come true. Like an amazing show. It was a little strange that during that show, I was standing around and they're playing this band, and I'm going, who is this band? And it turned out that they were playing Dream Theater, and I was hearing Dream Theater for the first time, and it turned out that it's a weird thing because the keyboardist that night was a young Mr. Jordan Rudess.
Mm-hmm.
So
Before the beard.
Yeah, it's a very strange. But anyway, they did a cover, and it can actually be found on their Bringing Back Alive album, and it is Kashmir with Steve Morse doing the vocal lines as leads, and it's just fantastic version. I love it. It's such a great concept and amazing sound. So it's Kashmir by the Dixie Dregs.
Wicked.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mate,
Nice.
if you like Steve Morse, this is an album. Shit, I've got a bit of
I'm
reflection.
gonna
It's an
do a
album.
close-up. Okay.
It's an album by a short-lived by choice supergroup consisting of those 5 members there: Don Airey, Bob Daisley, Jimmy Barnes, Lee Kerslake, and Steve Morse. And it's it's got 5 great Aussie covers and 6 originals, and it's just a great album. And
Awesome.
yeah, Steve Morse.
I didn't even know about that. I think you may have mentioned it in one of the shows. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, it was the bands you should know about, but
yeah, that's right.
yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
Very nice, Harrison.
Very cool.
T-Bone. How's that Coney Hatch koozie doing, by the way?
Well, this is the third one of these go to 11s I've had to keep cool, and it's keeping them very cool. So if Andy or Sean Kelly or Carl Dixon is watching, they have a quality quality koozie here. Good job.
Nice.
So are you going to go to 11 tonight?
Well, I'm at about 9. I could get.
Hockey
I
update.
might get to 12.
Here you go. Hey.
Anyway,
Sorry, T-Bone.
my next pick, because it was only one off, but since Rob touched on it already, I moved it to this spot because I just figure let's give it double love in this round. From Disturbed's immortalized album in 2015, it's the cover of Simon and Garfunkel's "Sounds of Silence." I do love this cover as well. It's almost like the folk song needed the power of this version. Like, this version gives me chills. I know Meat doesn't love the voice, I guess, on this version, but that's fair. But yeah, this version, I don't want to listen to this version before I go to sleep at night because I'm gonna have nightmares. But this is a great, great version in my opinion. So yeah, that's my next pick.
Cool.
I mean, it was also
I believe it.
Rob beat me to it, but anyway, good pick.
So what I did for the Sausage Fest intro that year, because these guys like to stick me with songs, although they didn't this year. They usually like to stick me with songs that I don't want to introduce on purpose.
That should be fun.
Yeah, 1-0 at the end of the period. Sorry, that's what I was trying to.
There you
I was
go.
interrupting T-Bone, but anyway, I recorded my intro for that song while actually taking my morning shit, and that was my form of protest for them sticking me with that song. And I was actually kind of surprised. Guys like Frank Toms, they love that song, and apparently a lot of my friends do too. So maybe I'm in there. Look at this. See, I just mentioned Frank Toms.
There you go.
He showed it.
But yeah, I guess I owe maybe a revisit, but that's neither here nor there. I'm going to move on to my number 3.
It's all subjective.
Yeah, it is. You know what it is, and but the lovely thing about these lists is that we infuriate each other and we still love each other at the end of the night. Speaking of which, my
Some
number
double
3.
entendre there.
My number 3 is a band that
was good.
probably a lot of people have covered
Corny
this
Smoky.
band, but they're also kind of known for doing, at least in the early part of their career, doing some pretty smashing covers themselves. And I chose "Twist and Shout" by the Beatles, which, according to Wikipedia, was originally done by a group called the Top Notes, but was more famously covered by the Isley Brothers, which is probably how it got to the Beatles. But I think, those screams, the classic Beatles screams, I had to pick one. That was the one I went with. I love Twist and Shout.
That's a very good pick. Actually, that was on a very late edit of my list. Nice pick.
Ooh. And yes, actually, Brian, if you must know. Over to you, Rob.
Okay, well, my number 3 has been mentioned before, and it was mentioned by this guy. No, over here. This guy. First.
Oh, okay.
Oh, nice.
And
It's like the Brady Bunch in here.
Yeah, like
And so it should come as no surprise to you that originally written by Reverend Gary Davis, Samson and Delilah by Shirley Manson off the Terminator, the Sarah Connor Chronicles.
Except I believe it's not actually on that disc, if I remember correctly.
No, it actually is.
Oh, it's because I haven't been able. Oh, nice. It's not on the iTunes version, I don't think.
That's right, Rob. Let me just show it one more time.
I sit
Nice.
corrected.
There you go.
Yeah, I can see that.
I sit very corrected.
That's it. For me, it is an awesome cover. I've heard the original, and obviously it sounds nothing like it. But when I heard this, I went, "Wow!" They absolutely nailed it when it came to this to that cover.
This is why you were so coy earlier.
Yes, I was like, maybe I've heard of it.
I'm good at calling things on Rob's lists. Yeah. I got Tawny Kane back in that the Band You Should Know one.
Oh yeah. All right, Harrison. What do you got in your top 3?
First, I remember watching that show, and And I remember Rob said my name, and I just sat bolt upright, just like yeah. But yes, number 3, the live. This is from his live album, Live in London, 1984, and it's Paul Di'Anno with a cover of The Animals. Please don't let me be misunderstood. And Paul Di'Anno has, upped the tempo, as Paul Di'Anno usually does with his covers. But he's also put in some sick dual guitars and just, he's just pretty damn good at covers. He's done quite a couple of Van Halen ones too, does those well. And
Interesting. You certainly know your Maiden members.
Not the last time we'll see a Maiden member.
Blaze Bayley, perhaps. That's my prediction.
Oh, maybe.
That's my prediction. I think I know which song, too.
I think you do, too.
A song that's shown up in the comments.
You did indeed.
Tonight. Yeah.
Spoilers.
Aaron, my friend, it's your turn.
Sorry, you were talking about Blaze Bayley and I tuned out. I'm back.
Oh, this guy.
Yeah.
So
if I just might interject just quickly, Holland has come up with the best nickname for Blaze Bayley, which is Bland Bailey, which I can't help but I admire his
enthusiasm,
dedication.
Look, Aaron just dozed off again because we're still talking about Blaze Bayley.
Sorry, no, I was actually just sitting here thinking, maybe I should suck it up and revisit those 2 albums again. But
hey,
I have a better album for you to visit. LeBrain knows
anymore. So,
Eric, do you think that Aaron should spend his valuable time as he's trying to review his entire
Stop
music
that.
Do you think he should spend some time listening to the Blaze Bayley Iron Maiden albums?
I think you have a lot more to do.
I actually stopped that. I'm not. I got all the world.
I know.
Well, LeBrain, I did think you mentioned that you were going to write a review on an album that would convince Aaron. Maybe we should
the live
get that review out.
Blaze Bayley live in Poland will be actually a very, very positive review. But sorry, I've stolen enough of your time.
Did he stay in Poland? Just checking.
Considering that they actually like him there,
all deference. Okay, I'll get to my next pick now. It's some CanCon. I chose the Jeff Healey Band covering John Hyatt's Angel Eyes.
Nice.
Which I can listen to anytime.
Good song.
Either version, but the Jeff Healey one is really good.
You know what? Giving Jeff Healey some props here. I also loved his version of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps."
Well,
it was right up his alley. Rob's nodding.
Yeah,
that was good too.
Yeah. Nice. Sure.
Yeah, and it's nice to hear those because when I saw him in concert, he was not a happy man. He was really angry that night.
Please. Ouch.
Yeah.
Okay, Meat Man, your turn, buddy.
Number three. Tyler Jeanneret still watching?
No, I don't think so.
I believe I was with Tyler Jeanneret for this one. Went to the Molson Amphitheater in 2009. The opening band was Zappa played Zappa. It was the third time I'd seen them. But the headliner of that show was a band called Dream Theater. And it's very hard for me not to put a cover thing of Dream Theater. And, they their version of To Tame a Land by Iron Maiden is one of my favorite covers. I love the sound of it. Also, I mean, they did a live cover of a live album, and they have whole album of Number of the Beast live covers and whatever. But there we are in Toronto, and they play their show, and everything's great, and they leave, and the encore's coming, and people are screaming, "What's coming on?" And they come back, and what do? They pander to the audience. The Camera Eye.
By Rush.
Played by Rush as the last song, and it was absolutely glorious because they just were so good at it. It was perfect.
That's awesome.
Camera Eye. There it is. Camera Eye by Dream Theater is my number 3.
Nice one. Now, before I put this next comment up on the screen, I'm going to put a disclaimer that the comments of the viewers do not reflect the thoughts of the host. But this is what Dave Haslam had to say about Jeff Healey's cover of "While My Guitar Gently Weeps." Ouch! Ouch!
Oh, boy.
Ouch!
Yeah. Anyway,
T-Bone.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's Haslam.
Indeed.
Even though you said they pandered to the crowd with Camera Eye, but Camera Eye is not picking like a super popular Rush song that would like
No.
that is an awesome. Yeah, that's awesome.
It was classic. Yeah.
Yeah. So my next one, I feel this is a downside of not putting these in order, I guess, because now I'm getting to a couple that I'm feeling like, oh, these are going to be lame. But anyway, I'm trying to be true to me, and I'm pretty lame, apparently. I like stuff that were hits, but the next one on my list is Get It On, Bang a Gong by the Power Station from 1985, the cover of the 1971 T-Rex song. I absolutely, in 1985, I was at that age where a tune like that was perfect, and that's my next pick.
It's more Duran Duran stuff for Sarah.
Yeah. I hope Sarah's still watching.
Yeah, well, maybe too late, but yeah, okay. Yeah, that's my number. Whatever. What are we on? 9 or something?
Yeah,
we're on our number
8?
3s.
3s?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Counting backwards. Okay.
And if I may comment on Dave Haslam, no, you are the joke. And T-Bone did win Sarah back, so that's good news.
Oh, thank you.
All right, I'm going into my number 2, and it's a band that's not known for covers, but maybe they should be, especially when you include their second lead singer, Steve Hogarth. It's a band called Marillion, and they've done a lot of covers with Hogarth, and my very favorite of them, which I believe, I'm going to say something really bold here, surpasses the original track. It's their live cover of Fake Plastic Trees by Radiohead. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to catch flack here. Steve Hogarth is 5 times the singer that Tom York is. And when he sings that line, "Blow Through the Ceiling," it sends chills up my back. It is absolutely brilliant. It was actually recorded in a restaurant in Wales, I believe. It's originally from a live album called Live at the Walls. And it's a brilliant cover, and I'm going to get all the hate directed towards me, not these other fine gentlemen. Over to you, Mr. Collins.
Rob Collins. Love Rob Collins.
My number 2 is the only one that comes from a live venue, and when I first heard that this group or these 2 individuals were going to do it, I thought, how is this going to sound? So I watched this. It's actually from the Kennedy Center. It's a tribute to Led Zeppelin. It's Ann and Nancy Wilson doing a cover of "Stairway to Heaven."
Oh yeah.
And when it hits the choir,
He starts crying.
portion in the song, I was just like, holy crap, this is amazing. And of course, they're performing it in front of the 3 surviving members of Zeppelin.
Yeah.
And
That's
you can
awesome.
see Jimmy Page, he's tearing up just hearing this song. And it's an amazing sound. The drummer, I believe, is the son of the original drummer of Zeppelin on the track.
Jason, yep.
Look it up on YouTube.
Jason Bonham.
It is an amazing sound. I was just like, I didn't think anybody could do it better than Zeppelin, or even match Zeppelin, and Nancy Wilson did.
Jason Bonham.
A lot of people shout out that song as being
Yes.
top notch. Yeah.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the Wilsons are known for their Zeppelins. Like they're just they're Zeppelin is in good hands with them.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
they can sing.
Oh,
I
lost
believe-
T-Bone again.
T-Bone
I
again.
believe they sang that song also in front of David Letterman and President Obama. I'm not sure if it was the same. It may have been a different one of the whatever they call that place, not the Nelson Center, whatever.
The
The
Kennedy
Lincoln
Center.
Center. Kennedy Center.
Lincoln Center, whatever.
But I think it was Obama and Letterman that were with them.
Yeah.
It's cool.
That's awesome.
hmm
Wicked. Harrison, number 2.
That's a great one.
All right, we're going to do an ELO entry now because it wouldn't be a Harrison list without ELO on it. And I could go with the boring, obvious choice in Roll Over Beethoven, but no. And I could go with like Great Balls of Fire or Day Tripper, and they are great covers, but I'm not going to. I'm instead going to go with something a bit older, a little classic tune called In the Hall of the Mountain King. And turns out when you put an electric guitar behind this, it becomes a monster of a riff.
Yeah, it's true.
That's neat.
A
Nice.
couple bands have done that.
I like that a lot, actually. Nice.
It's neat. Yeah.
All right.
I thought I disappeared and came back seamlessly. That's my second disappearing act. I'm sorry. That was neither,
you got again.
neither
You have
was
to understand.
neither was my plan. But anyway, go ahead.
But you have to understand, this guy is literally tuning in from the Arctic tundra of Ontario. So, like, it's not like that they even have.
Let's keep
They
going with
just
keep
got
going.
the internet last year.
Keep going with that. I'll show you how to skin a killer whale after. I have no idea.
Oh,
I have no
shit.
idea.
Hey, I just noticed, because of the background, T-Bone gets his name in big there under him.
Yep.
It's pretty nice. I don't even know
deserves
whose
it.
turn we're at. Who's
Aaron.
Just Aaron.
Aaron.
Go ahead, buddy.
Yes. So we're the second last.
Yeah.
Okay, so this one, Mike already talked about this artist and the series of albums, the American recordings, and talk about a wealth of stuff. I mean, we've even got the Unearthed box set here, and I mean, it's just endless. There's so much. And I looked at the Mercy Seat, and I thought about Redemption Song, and I thought there were so many of them. Rusty Cage.
Mm-hmm.
So many I wanted to do, but I gave it to her because when you watch the video and listen to the song at the same time, it just hits you. He really does sound old and tired and trying to feel, and it really, had to. Really, really good.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
I believe that Trent Reznor has went on record a few times saying that he doesn't even think the song is his anymore.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but that was Cash's last album released in his lifetime, I believe.
Was that the fourth American recordings one?
Yeah.
Fourth American. Yeah.
Great comment by Dave Haslam, redeeming himself from his earlier comment.
Oh, don't worry.
Meat Man.
Don't worry. He'll discover himself again somehow.
Yeah. And I've invited this guy on the show. Thank God he doesn't have a working computer, eh? Meat Man, go ahead.
But if you had Dave Hassan on here for an hour and a half, I mean, you'd get canceled. He just can't control himself. Trust me. My number two. So, what is it like when you go to a concert and like the artist that you're seeing, or one of the artists that you're seeing, does a cover of his father's song and makes it iconic? You know, that's iconic. But it's even more iconic when he's joined by Geddy Lee.
I know what it is. I know what it is.
The Lennon Claypool Delirium doing a cover of Tomorrow Never Knows. With Sean Lennon sounding just like John Lennon. And of course, Geddy Lee coming out and probably still high from the joint I blew in his face.
Yeah, tell the story real quick, Pete. Tell that story real quick.
We were outside of the Danforth Music Hall and just standing there, and we're smoking a joint and not even thinking that we're standing beside a tour bus, but you're not thinking. There's people everywhere. And all of a sudden the door opens and I look literally to my right, and less than 2 feet from me, there's Geddy Lee's face, and I exhaled right in his face. It completely shocked me. I've never seen anything like it. So, it's a true story.
Did he say thank you?
No. I don't know. It all happened so fast. I can tell you this: it was a big joint. So,
yeah, John Lennon had 2 kids, Sean and
Julian.
Julian, yes.
Yeah, and it was Sean Lennon, and he was great in that. Like, he sounded so. It just like it's eerie too when you realize that's John Lennon's kid, and like it was just a great cover. It was great.
I think it's funny. Both of those kids look like John Lennon, but in 2 completely different ways.
Mm-hmm.
Great pick, man.
That is a better story than the time I body checked Mo Berg.
I think that's a brilliant story too, man. And he's a little guy.
Oh, he's not real big, no.
No, he's tiny. Yeah, that's right. Sean is from Yoko Ono,
and then I can't remember his first wife's name, was Julian's mother. But when I was growing up, Julian's the older son, obviously. Julian was kind of hitting the music scene when I was in high school, and then Sean Lennon kind of. I think the first time I ever saw Sean Lennon was when he did "Give Peace a Chance" in 1990. Remember that video? Duff McKagan. No,
maybe.
No, it wouldn't be this, would it? It wouldn't be that. So. Maybe it was that. Oh shit. Okay, I'm sorry. It's T-Bone's turn.
It's all good. That's you've had amazing stories tonight. Thank you.
No, I'm full of stories.
He always.
Hey, you know what? Hey, that's what makes this show awesome. Okay, this is a song that I toiled with whether to put into my list or not, because I thought, and I'm going to raise some controversy maybe, because I thought that the original version versus the version that I'm going to cite are quite different, but I'm going with "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin. As originally written by Kansas Joe and Memphis Minnie back in 1929. Now, it's mainly the lyrics that are the cover, but as far as I can tell, this still counts as a cover unless you want to put some rules in there.
Yeah,
so "When the Levee Breaks" by Led Zeppelin. Great tune. I know you guys all know the tune, and maybe it's going to count as a cheat, but yeah, that's what I'm going with for my number 10, because we're going to 11 next, right? We're
going to number 1.
Number 2? Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
That's right. Yeah. That's cool.
I hope Sarah likes that one.
It's interesting too, because a lot of people think that Led Zeppelin borrowed from the blues on their first album or 2. No, that's from their 4th album. So they were boring.
Yeah, but they were borrowing from blues from 1929. I mean, like you know what? I give them credit for just doing their homework. Like, God darn it! Like even in 19 whatever the hell it was back then. Like, I don't know. I wouldn't borrow from more than 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's fair.
And
Sarah approves. And I really like this comment.
Kevin is trying to mend a fence here, I think. And you know what? I appreciate that, and thank you so much. I'm going to sleep better tonight.
Me too. Because I've got Kevin and Sarah on, in a few weeks.
You know what? I hold no. Hey, everybody's allowed their opinion. That doesn't change anything. I might, make Mike look funny in the next artwork just because of it. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after the list. We're going to go with the last round. It's my number 1. And it has come up in the comments a lot in the last 10 minutes. And it is, yes. The Green Manalishi with the 2-pronged crown.
Nice.
By Judas Priest, covering Fleetwood Mac I think it's the greatest cover of all time. That guitar solo is like a song unto itself. If ever a band has taken a tune and made it their own, stolen it from the originator and made it their own, it's Judas Priest. And, Diamonds and Rust did not come up tonight, but I think Green Manalishi is like the greatest thing ever.
Yes, it's a bit of a known rule that when Judas Priest covers your song, it becomes their song. Unless, of course, your name is Chuck Berry.
Apparently it's 2-1 Leafs.
Hooray!
So that's my number one. Rob.
Okay. Well, before I get to my number one, I have a couple of honorable mentions. First of all, Mike mentioned this one earlier. All Along the Watchtower by Brendan McCreary off of the Battlestar Galactica Season 3 soundtrack. Everybody Knows by an artist named Sigrid from the Justice League soundtrack, the more recent one. I thought it was a really good cover, although Concrete Blonde does a really good cover of Everybody Knows as well.
Up the volume, yeah.
And then my last runner-up is Rush's For What It's Worth. And it is... Yeah, I listened to it and I went, this is Rush? Holy crap.
Yeah.
But my number one has been mentioned. Should come as a surprise to no one because he made this song his own. And whenever I hear the lyric, everyone I know goes away in the end. With what's happened to me in the last year, it rings very true and rings very harsh. So I'm talking about Johnny Cash's Hurt.
Wow.
He really, you can just hear the anguish in the man's voice when he performs it. And I think it's an amazing cover.
Rob,
I couldn't agree more.
Awesome pick.
Very cool.
Thirded.
I read that Johnny Cash had cancer in his jaw towards the end of his life, and he was always in pain when he was singing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, wow, that's yeah. Rick is happy. Awesome one, Rob. Wicked.
Indeed.
Okay, Harrison, number one.
I've got some honorable mentions first too.
Sure.
Corey Taylor's Rainbow in the Dark.
Yeah.
Weird Al's entire discography.
Ah!
Hooked on Classics, which you know what that is or not.
Yeah, I know I do. Yeah.
The Bay City Rollers, I Only Want to Be With You,
Oh,
an older one. And literally every other cover that Alice Cooper has done.
Yeah.
some Bay City Rollers love. Oh, cool.
That's nice.
But yes, the number one. LeBrain is very astute tonight. Either that or I'm very predictable. But it is, as Blaze puts it, our bastardization of Dazed and Confused. And you'd think that putting a baritone on a song normally sung by a tenor wouldn't work, and in some cases you'd be right. Not in this case, Blaze has really heavied up the song, He's thrown in a guitar harmony as well, which is always good. And I love at the end, as it starts fading out, Blaze is just like, do you think Robert Plant would like that? Well, I would love it if he hated it.
Nice. Mm-hmm. I can tell you for a fact that I've played Blaze Bailey's cover of Dazed and Confused in the record store at the Oakville location. There you go, John. How do you like that? Aaron, my friend, what's your number one in non-numerical order? Because you never do that.
Okay, well, I have a list of also-rans as well, but we've been here all night.
Oh, okay.
So I won't even subject you to that.
Okay.
But this is the only time that I have tried to get something slotted in. I chose this as my last one because it's actually the last song on the album. So it's the way the show ended. So this is not the song you're going to think of when I say Nirvana Unplugged.
Okay.
You're going to think The Man Who Sold the World, because everybody loves the David Bowie cover that they did that night. But I just cannot. I just love their cover of Leadbelly's "Where Did You Sleep Last Night," and that when he starts just screaming at the end. And I know, okay, so those grunge singers, they put that on. They do that. Kurt could do that with his voice, just at any time. I'm sure he could have done that, but the way it fit into the song, awesome, really powerful. So I like that.
That was actually the song that I thought that came to mind immediately. When
Oh, was it? Okay, because
yeah.
I just assumed everybody would think of the Bowie cover.
Maybe it's just because I know you better. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, that's because it was the last song of that set. I put it as the last song on my list. So there you go. I actually tried without numbering things.
This right here is a comment related to Rob's Rush.
Yes.
Yep.
All right, Meat Man, number one, numero uno.
Okay, I'm going to start queer very quickly. Dave Haslam gave me a list about 5 hours ago, and and I'm just going to tell you what the 11 were. So it's quick.
Yeah, he bitched about this earlier.
Number 11 was All on the Watchtower by Hendrix. Number 10 was Summer Breeze by Typo Negative. Number 9 was Making Plans for Nigel by Primus. Number 8 was Astronomy Dominated by Voivod. Number 7 was Blitzkrieg by Metallica. Number 6 was a band called the Stone Coyotes doing the song Jolene, which is a Dolly Parton cover. I don't know what this is, but I mean I know Jolene, but
yeah.
Number 5, King's X live cover of I'm Your Captain by Grand Funk, which I now really want to hear. I love that song. Number 4, Ike and Tina Turner, Proud Mary. Number 3, Tool, No Coder. Number 2, Government Mule, Effigy, which is a great cover of a CCR song. And his number 1, Judas Priest, Green Manalishi.
Nice, that's a great list.
Very interesting. Now, very quick, I didn't write down too many honorable mentions, but I got a few here. Cheap Sunglasses by The Sword. Last in Line by Tenacious D. The Seeker by Rush, which is interestingly is on Feedback and is my favorite song off that Feedback album. Freddy's Dead by Fishbone, which was a cover of what's his face? I'm getting a mental block. Curtis Mayfield cover, and After Forever by Biohazard, which was a great cover.
I didn't know they covered it.
I will say this about my number 1. Dave Haslam's earlier said that he knew what my number 1 was, and it's funny because I was going to put it with my number 5 and I totally forgot. He's talking about seeing Hibakusha play School by Supertramp as a cover, which was amazing, and I just want to say. But my number 1 has already been mentioned, and it was mentioned by LeBrain, and it was a good friend of mine. I talked to him on the phone. He says, "Hey, I'm just about to do a live cover or a video cover of Subdivisions," and I remember thinking that's kind of an odd choice. And then I saw it and went, "Oh, there's 20,000 hits on this in 2 weeks." and then it just went crazy, and so I mean that had to be my number 1 for many reasons. And technically, I did see him play it live in Kitchener at a show that I saw him do, so it had to be involved. So Jacob Moon, Subdivisions, there it is. Nice
one, Meat. Nice one. I was hoping. Didn't know it would be your number 1, but I was hoping that it would be on your list.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Oh, okay. That means that T-Bone gets to close the show. T-Bone is the closing act.
Well, my number 1 has already been picked, but I just want to give a bit of a backstory. I didn't hear this version when it first came out. I'm involved in a curling team that goes on a trip to the States every year, except this last year, obviously due to COVID. And about 4 or 5 years ago, I heard this version from a fellow member of our curling team that just loves all music. Actually, he should be on this show. And anyway, he played me this version, and every time I've heard this version, especially since I've become a Come a dad, this version brings me literally to tears. And that is, and it's already been mentioned, is Johnny Cash's Hurt from American Four. Man Comes Around. Like, oh my God. I have to literally listen to that song alone because that song literally hurts me because it reminds me of all the shit I might have done wrong that day or that week or that month or that year. And I don't say that in a bad way. I say that in a good way. So you know what? That's the only song in my list because I said I didn't list them. That song was purposely put here because that was my number one.
Wow. I'm
Awesome.
really.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's everywhere.
that's a good one
Yeah.
too. That's a good one too.
So how
give
many?
it-
So how many people picked that?
At least
three.
three. I think at least
Four.
three. I think at least
1, 2, 3.
I thought there was
There was
more than three.
Rob, T-Bone, and me.
Yeah, and I think, but I
Okay.
think a few of the
Many
viewers picked it
comments.
as well.
Many.
Yeah, a lot of comments.
Kevin picked it.
It is a
as number one.
powerful. You know what? I'll be honest. I never heard the Nine Inch Nails version before Johnny Cash's version because I got too old to know that version. I went back and listened to it after. Very good song still, but Johnny Cash's version just punches me in the gut every time. But in a
it
good
does.
way. In a good way. If you can be punched in the gut in a good way, it's in a good way. I mean,
Look at
that
these
sounds
awesome
weird.
comments.
It
Look
sounds
at this
weird,
guy
but-
go. Look at him go.
Yeah.
I just thought of one now that should have been an honorable mention for me because he mentioned Shatner. Brent Spiner singing Sinatra's Blue Skies.
Blue Skies. I was going to mention that. You know what? I was going to mention that. Thank you. For any of the Jimmy Darren tunes in Deep Space Nine. These are look at these great comments here.
This is
fantastic,
guys.
Hey, LeBrain, I bet I can bring one up that you should have had on your list, and I'm surprised you didn't have on your list. He was an ex-guest on the LeBrain train, and his name is Steph Hond. I thought for sure that you were going to put the Supper's Ready on there because of the way you raved about it. That's what I thought.
Well, it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, you know what? Thanks for bringing that up. Steph Hond is a fantastic guy. I happen to have a couple of his CDs here next to me. Hollywood Monsters. That's Steph Hond.
Can
He's
we?
played
We
with
should
one
do
of-
we should do a round of like honorable mentions. I think.
I don't really have anything to offer. The one that I took.
Well, we all kind of did, but Troy didn't get his chance, so I let Troy do his because we all kind of did. That's a
Yeah, do yours.
Well,
Man. I don't need to do mine.
I didn't have a whole bunch, but one song that I toiled with that I wanted to really put in there, and I ended up kicking out was the Atari's version of "The Boys of Summer" from Don Henley.
Oh,
I actually I didn't love Don Henley's version, but I actually really loved the Atari's version. And because I already had gone with Whiskey in the Jar, Last Caress, Green Hell from Metallica, like that, I couldn't put that on my list in a way because part of the lyrics disturbed me too much. But my God, I love that song so much.
That's cool.
There's a few more, but yeah, that's probably it.
I don't really have anything in the way of honorable mentions, but there's so many great ones coming up in the comments here.
Bunch.
Yeah. You mentioned that you started with like 50.
You want a few?
Do it.
Okay.
I had
all along the Watchtower. I had Bonnie Raitt doing "Angel from Montgomery."
Ooh, nice.
Oh yeah, that's a great choice.
Right?
Nice.
I had the Red Hot Chili Peppers' "Higher Ground."
Yes, I had that. At
Stevie
one point,
Wonder.
yes.
That
I
came
had
up in
Eric
the comments.
Clapton's "I Shot the Sheriff."
That came up in the comments.
I had Janis Joplin, "Me and Bobby McGee."
Yep.
Sinead O'Connor doing "Nothing Compares to You."
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I had Cowboy Junkie, "Sweet Jane." I had the Rolling Stones, "Ain't Too Proud to Beg." Run DMC, "Walk This Way," and I didn't know because that's an Aerosmith song, right? I didn't know.
I consider that a cover.
With them. That's a cover? Okay.
Because it's a Run DMC song with Aerosmith. Two guys from Aerosmith, only two guesting.
Right. Okay. I had
But But only 3 guys from Run DMC.
Yeah.
Well, there are only 3.
I know.
I had
Yeah.
Eric Clapton, Cocaine.
Yeah.
Yes, that was on my list.
Elvis Costello's What's So Funny About Peace, Love, and Understanding, which
Good
was
one.
Nick Lowe. I
Elvis
had,
Costello does a good All You Need Is Love at Live Aid too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Stevie Wonder, We Can Work It Out, which I mentioned before. I had Sid Vicious doing My Way.
Nah, that's
Nice.
just being a contrarian.
Nice.
Come on.
You know what? That's
That
awesome.
starts a conversation. I had, oh, you'll like this one, Mike. I had Charles Bradley's Changes, the Black Sabbath. I had the Sundays Wild
In my
Horses.
pocket. Nice.
I had Guns N' Roses Live and Let Die.
Actually,
Santana,
Guns N' Roses
Black
Live and Let
Woman.
Die, yes.
I had Alien Ant Farm, Smooth Criminal, and the band I Shall Be Released.
Mm.
Cool.
So,
Some good stuff, Aaron.
yeah, that's what I mean. It was so hard, and those are the ones I pared down.
Good job, Aaron.
We're seeing so many comments here.
Mhm.
I would like to hear Glenn Hughes' version of I Just Want to Celebrate. I just listened to Black Country Communion's cover of Trapeze's song, Medusa, both bands featuring Glenn Hughes on lead vocals. That was pretty awesome.
Game again.
Oh, it's a tie game again.
Ah,
Anyway, so many great
Doesn't matter.
suggestions.
Next
this is
Thursday's game matters, not today's game. Doesn't matter.
this is true.
who's in the net? Is it Campbell tonight?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yeah. Anyway, War Pigs. I'm surprised that cake version didn't come up, and cake came up, but not that. So many great ones here. I am overwhelmed. Well, why don't we do the round of things where we talk about what we are up to? Rob, I believe that you are doing another Lord of the Rings soundtrack tonight.
Yeah, it's the month of the ring. May is the month of the ring, and I'm celebrating 20 years of the films, and tonight is the Two Towers.
20.
And 20 years makes me feel old.
Oh.
Just
Oh.
one more honorable mention for me before I kept thinking about this, and that was Freddie Mercury's version of The Great Pretender.
Oh, wow.
Nice.
I thought which was would have been another honorable mention had I thought about it before the Tonight Show.
That's a good one too.
Mhm.
Man, they just keep rolling in on the
Oh, that
comments
was a
here.
good one too.
Hey, Harrison, what do you got going on these days?
I've actually got something planned. It's something interesting in in a couple of days, but I'm not going to spoil the surprise. So
So just keep your eyes on the Mad Metal Man on WordPress.
Cool.
I like it.
Max the Axe enjoyed the show.
Oh, and
You know
Harrison-
what? We had 3/4 of Max the Axe involved with the show tonight with Dave Haslam. So that's kind of cool.
we also had 3/4 of Max the Axe's fans.
The
Ooh,
only
he's
Ooh,
kind of
yeah.
a big deal.
The
only
Ouch.
I like it. I like it.
But
Aaron,
I'm glad we have all the Max Axe fans gathered in one group.
no one mentioned Quiet Riot.
For good reason.
Aaron, you have abandoned your alphabetical project.
Absolutely, and I feel great. That was a millstone, I'll tell you. So yeah, I am like one step still functioning past hiatus at this point. I'm basically just putting up whatever song comes to mind and letting that be that, and enjoying all of your guys' funny and awesome posts, informative stuff. Mostly my time now, if I have free time, mostly my time has been spent with my new baby,
Yeah.
which is the
We'll
Fender
do
Telecaster
Here, we'll give you the
Select
solo.
Reverb. I cannot say enough good things about this amplifier. If you need a new amplifier, buy this. It is awesome.
Aaron, don't think. Sorry.
I plugged my Telecaster into it, and I'll tell you, I went through about 5 different amps because I had a sound in my head, and I couldn't find it. And I came back full circle to just a Fender clean. That's all it is. That's all I needed. So There it is. It's awesome. Weighs 23 pounds. And if you, because it has an attenuator in the back, the full 22 watt actually is the 100 watt amp, but you can attenuate it several stages all the way down to 0.2 of a watt, which is awesome, because what you can do, and what I have set up right now, you can 0.2 watts on the back attenuator, and then you dime the volume. So what you get is those nice cleans at a low volume, and you roll the volume control on your guitar, and you go from clean to dirty just with that. You don't even have to touch the amplifier. You can just, it's awesome.
Listen to this guy.
That's a show right there.
Yeah, I'll get you and T-Bone just to talk guitars.
No,
for an
just
hour.
Aaron.
Just Aaron.
I just want to watch. that show.
Well, come on over. It's not that far for you to drive, is it?
Well, for me, it's a bit of a drive. I will drive, though, if I have to. Probably about 20 hours, but that's okay.
One thing for sure is that we've been told it's happening in 2023, that the Thunder Bay crew is coming down to Southern Ontario in 2023. We've been promised.
Yeah.
So we got to get Kevin Simister involved with that and get them all up at the farm.
So much.
Actually, Guns N' Roses cover of "Down on the Farm" is quite good. But did we have any Guns? Did any Guns make a list?
They were on my also rans with "Live and Let Die."
So no official list.
Live and Let Die was on my also rans too. I think it mainly got removed because of Meat. I was scared to put it on there because of Meat.
Right. Speaking of whom, Meat,
it was right there.
Speaking of Meat, what do you got going on that you can tell us about?
Other than my T-Bone brainwashing of bad music.
Yeah.
As a few people that are involved with the Sausage Fest process, would be interested to know, like Mr. Frank Toms usually watches. We have finished the intro of an album that we are recreating like we normally do. The only person who actually knows is T-Bone, because he's been a good sounding board and so on. So T-Bone won't be spilling the beans, so that's cool. And I swear it's not all about Frank Toms. It's just partly about Frank Toms.
Who?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So there you go. And we'll see how that goes for year 20. Who knows if we're going to have it the same day, if we're going to push it, or if we're going to have, cancel it for a month. I don't know what we're going to do, but we're going to do it at some point. We'll see what happens.
Well, at this point, I will not be able to make it if it happens in earlier July, because I can't. I won't get into it, but I can't. I need. Jen's going to be here at the house, so I gotta be here with her.
I can't see that changing in a month. So I will say you're probably not going to be attending this year, I guess.
But I will say that there is always a chance of me showing up for the Saturday just the day. There's always a chance of that. So you never know. You never know. Yeah. Now, T-Bone, I'm going to grab a prop here. We got some artwork that Deke is going to be debuting tomorrow, correct?
If I grab my version, it just doesn't have the signatures, but yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I have the lame person version. So I don't have a lot to say because Meat has erased most of my memory. But yeah, I'm just happy to be here.
I mean, you sound like you were on the $6 million man there as somebody has been brainwashed.
Yeah, I feel more like one of the desperate housewives that have been desperate brainwashed.
Funny.
No, but no, I got nothing to say other than busier. LeBrain is on the trip. I just remember Shatner's cover of Rocket Man. that would have been great.
Yeah, he's just trolling now.
Yeah, but you know what? In fairness, that would have been awesome.
Yeah,
if somebody had chucked that to me in the top 5, I would have moved somebody out of there for that. Yeah. Not in the top 1, but in the top 5, yeah, okay. Yeah. I'm just sitting around waiting for LeBrain to tell me what to do next. It's a bit of a slave driving episode, but whatever.
Well, speaking of
I'm
what
going
to
to get
do
out of
next,
here because it's time for me to do an open door everything.
speaking of what's to do next, it is this guy wants to know. This is what's happening.
Yes.
Mr. Sean Kelly,
Yes.
Coney Hatch, Lee Aaron, all the other groups that we mentioned at the top of the show. He was on my list tonight with his classical guitar
Yes,
album, Where the
next
Wood
week.
Meets the Wire, featuring Gowan's Criminal Mind. Mr. Sean Kelly will be joining us next week. And as alluded to, T-Bone should have some artwork that Deke will be debuting tomorrow, is my understanding.
Yes.
Is that, I have those details
that
correct?
is true. That is true.
Oh! You had to go there.
Well,
Okay. I never want to end a show on a down note like that. So what we're gonna do as we leave tonight, I'm gonna play a video. It's all recycled footage. It's a song you've already heard before, but it's a fucking great song. And just to help Max the Axe's ego a little bit, let's get a little bit of love for Gods on the Radio. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So thanks a lot, guys.
Cheers,
Appreciate
everybody.
spending your time. Do
thank
not
you,
miss.
everybody.
Yeah. Thank you, T-Bone. Thank you, Harrison, Rob. Tune in tonight to Visions and Sound to hear the Lord of the Rings. And there you go. Meat Man. Look forward to talking to you soon. Aaron, likewise.
Great choices,
next
everybody.
week.
Awesome.
Great choices, everybody. Next
exactly.
week, Deke and I join us. We will be talking to Mr. Sean Kelly from Coney Hatch. And I will be posting that full list, thanks to Aaron, tomorrow morning.
Okay.
All right, guys. Have a wonderful night. Gods on the radio. On the LeBrain train.
Cheers.
Good night, everybody. Nice.
Fuck off.